Welcome to another roller coaster of a recap. Today we're diving into the story of a girl whose life is about to get a whole lot more demonic. Our girl Luna is having another absolutely thrilling day at school. She dreams of the kind of epic romance you only find in comics, but her reality is just sketching her feelings while the world passes her by. That is, until the resident queen bee and her squad of mean girls show up to ruin her day. Our poor heroine just can't catch a break. The harpies circle, mocking her dream of becoming a manhwa artist. Luna tries to tune them out, but they're not about to let her go that easily. The lead bully gets right in her face, demanding attention. They completely surround our little nugget who's just trying to draw in peace. And then the bully goes for the jugular, bringing up Luna's mom. Oh no, she didn't. That's the last straw, and our girl finally snaps. The bullies play the victim, of course, leaving Luna feeling completely alone. They hit her right where it hurts the most. Back home, she vents all her frustration from the day. This is Luna Sha, a high school freshman whose only escape is reading manhwa. She dives into her phone to forget her troubles. She sees these heroines meeting charming, powerful devils and can't help but feel a little envious. And that's when a chaotic little idea sparks in her brain. She looks up how to summon a devil online, as one does. And she actually draws the summoning circle. She laughs it off, thinking it's ridiculous, until her room starts glowing. A mysterious light erupts from her desk, and a deep voice echoes through the room, asking for her wish. Suddenly, a ridiculously handsome devil is lying on the floor in front of her. He explains the terms, one wish, in exchange for her soul. Our girl's brain is completely fried. Is this an angel? A devil? What is happening? She is absolutely positively stunned. Her manhwa-addled brain tries to process this. This isn't how it goes in the stories, but this devil is all business. He demands to know her wish or he's moving on. He gets right in her personal space and she squeaks out her desire. He knows exactly what she wants, revenge on her classmates. Luna explains how they bully her for no reason, but the devil is not impressed. He basically calls her a doormat for not fighting back. He can't believe she summoned the great him for something so trivial. Our poor girl just sits there, completely dejected. But then she explodes. Trivial? She unleashes a furious rant about the hell that is high school bullying. The devil is completely taken aback by this sudden fiery personality. When she starts to cry, he totally panics. He awkwardly tries to comfort her, even offering her a glass of water. Now filled with a new sense of purpose, Luna declares she's going to get her revenge. She cries herself to sleep, while the devil realizes his vacation just got complicated. He looks over her messy desk and feels a sliver of sympathy for the bullied artist. He decides to take matters into his own demonic hands. The next day, Luna arrives at school, thinking the whole thing was a bizarre dream. She's so embarrassed for even trying to summon a demon. But then, her teacher makes an announcement. There's a new transfer student. A very familiar transfer student. He walks in and introduces himself as Lucifer. And he gives our girl a sly, knowing wink. Her life is never going to be the same again. The smirking demon corners our girl, asking what she wants from him. But before she can even answer, he says he's here to collect his payment. Payment? Our poor heroine is stunned. She starts to panic, pleading that she's only 16 and doesn't want to die. But he just tilts her chin up, a cruel smile on his face. He's not after her life. He wants to know what else she can offer as repayment. After all, he purrs. There's no such thing as a free wish in this world. Reality crashes down on our girl, and she shrinks back in terror. This was a huge mistake. She starts sobbing, begging him to at least let her say goodbye to her mother first. The Demon King just watches her breakdown, completely unfazed by her tears. She keeps crying her eyes out until he suddenly poofs into a chibi form and just vanishes. He reappears a few feet away, casually reading a book. He mockingly quotes a line, "Then give yourself to me." And to her absolute horror, she realizes he's reading her cheesy romance novel. The devil loves me. He scoffs, telling her he was just messing around and didn't think she'd be so dense. She's completely lost. He clarifies that a tiny wish like hers isn't worth her life. He tells her not to worry, she won't be dying anytime soon. Apparently, he made a rule as the Devil King that souls can't be taken against someone's will. But when she tries to interrupt, he just snaps, "Shut up." Then, in a moment of shocking tenderness, he wipes away her tears, telling her she's learned her lesson. Don't call demons on a whim. He decides it's time for a little demonic orientation. He summons a scroll and starts lecturing her on Devil Common Sense 1001. Our girl is so over this, screaming that she's never summoning him again. Later that night, she thanks Mr. Lucifer for not killing her, and tries to get back to her normal life. But then a super cute toothbrush and toothpaste set magically appear. It's Lucifer, reminding her to brush her teeth. The Demon King is now her personal dental hygienist. He materializes behind her, nagging her to get to bed early for school. She finally asks him the important question, when will her wish be fulfilled? Meanwhile, back in the Devil Kingdom, things are not going so well. A blindfolded assistant named Edwin is drowning in paperwork, begging Mr. Lucifer to come back to the office. Suddenly, the window shatters, and in flies a literal angel, the fabulous Sir Gabriel, casually asking if Lucifer is home. Feathers drift through the demonic office. Edwin politely asks the angel to please use the front door next time. Gabriel just shrugs, saying Lucifer's on a break for a few days. Edwin is losing his mind, reminding Gabriel that this is the demon world and he needs to be less angelic. Gabriel waves off his concern, saying he's just here because Lucifer's older brother has been a real pain lately. There was a betrayal among his underlings, and now he's taking it out on the angels. Gabriel decides to leave, calling Edwin Little Edwin on his way out. Edwin lets out a long-suffering sigh. He picks up a stray feather, looking out the broken window. It's been 3 days. Lucifer, he mutters. It's time to return. Back in the human world, Lucifer is laying out the new plan. He holds up 3 fingers, promising that in 3 years he'll give her the power to get her own revenge. She's confused. But I have you. Why do I have to do it myself? He grins, explaining that revenge is a dish best served with your own 2 hands. He then gets terrifyingly close, calling her a weakling for always relying on others. He launches into a savage roast, listing all her flaws: bad grades, poor nutrition, terrible sleep schedule, a triple kill. He finishes her off with a quadra kill, declaring she's a loser who practically has "bully me" written on her forehead. Our girl is absolutely demolished. She whimpers that he nags more than her mom. He just scoffs, offering to kill her bully for her right now. But she shakes her head, unsatisfied. A smirk plays on his lips. You aren't hopeless yet. Their training begins now, starting with a proper night's sleep. The next morning, she wakes up feeling refreshed. She laughs, thinking the whole thing must have been a crazy dream. What demon king? What contract? A chilling voice right next to her says, it's not a dream. It's Lucifer holding a plate of something and telling her to dig in. Our girl is shocked that the demon king can cook, and for a second she thinks maybe this won't be so bad. She takes a bite and sees what's on her plate. It's a massive wiggling eyeball covered in tentacles. The eyeball stares back at her. It wriggles on her spoon, and she completely loses it. The entire room spins. What the hell is that? She screams. Lucifer calmly informs her it's a poisonous dragon's eyeball. He even takes a bite himself, saying it's nutritious. When she refuses to eat the demonic delicacy, he informs her that he threw out all her instant noodles. It's either the eyeball or starvation. Defeated, she chokes it down through her tears. Somehow, she survives breakfast and makes it to school. She feels weird, but the eyeball wasn't as bad as she thought. As they're walking, a hand reaches for her, but Lucifer yanks her back before it can touch her. She's blushing and nervous, wondering if he's finally come to claim her soul. He just tells her, don't move. He gently reaches toward her face and brushes her bangs out of her eyes. Don't cover them, he says softly. It's rare, the color of your eyes. It's the color of noble blood. He gently explains that in the demon world, pupil color represents strength, with black being the noblest. Our girl, ever the curious one, points out that since he's the demon king, his eyes should be the most noble color, but he reveals his blazing red eyes are actually the most common color for a low-rank devil, a color that holds no power. She asks which color is the most powerful, and he tells her it's gold, just as Anne and her boy toy walk by, deep in some drama of their own. Anne snatches her hand away, suddenly declaring she doesn't want a designer bag anymore, and her boyfriend absolutely loses it, furious that she'd dare brush him off. He sneers, asking if she really thinks she's good enough for him. Yikes, trouble in paradise for the mean girl squad. Back in class, our girl greets her desk mate, looking surprisingly cheerful. He immediately notices her new hairstyle, teasing that she must have a crush on someone. She gets adorably flustered, denying it and claiming her bangs were just getting in her eyes while Lucifer watches from the back like a brooding gargoyle. But their chatter is cut short when the teacher screams for quiet. He announces they need to select someone to be in charge of the sports committee's billboard. Anne's eyes light up, but she's panicking internally because the announcement is so last minute. The teacher, however, is not having any of the students' complaints. He goes on a full-blown tirade about how hard his job is, practically radiating angry smoke. He continues his rant, saying even a non-human would collapse from his workload. Seizing the moment, the ever-scheming Anne volunteers our girl, Luna, pointing out her drawing skills. And just like that, the teacher dumps the entire responsibility on our poor heroine, who can only stare in horror. He tells her to do her best and dismisses the class, leaving our girl for dead. She collapses onto her desk, her soul literally leaving her body. One thought echoes in her mind: Anne Sue is definitely plotting something evil. The bell rings, and the mean girls swarm her desk, fake cheering her on. Our girl puts on a brave face, but inside she's absolutely screaming. She's trapped, with no idea what Anne is planning. She stays late to work, only to be startled by Lucifer, who appears out of nowhere. She tries to shoo him away, frantically saying she needs to finish the billboard. She knows Anne is setting her up for failure, and she'll be the one to take the fall. In a moment of desperation, she asks Lucifer to use his magic to transport the board home, but he hits her with a cold, hard no. He tells her to use her own pathetic brain to solve her problems, or she won't get any dinner. Our girl is at her breaking point, dramatically crying that she doesn't even care about his gross eyeball meals. Lucifer turns to leave her wallowing in her despair. He internally scolds her for being a weakling who always relies on others for help. But then, she suddenly springs up, cheekily putting in her dinner order for a poisoned eyeball 80% cooked, which completely throws him for a loop. Suddenly, a swarm of bats flutters in through the open window. With a loud bang, our girl slams her fist on the desk, her mind racing. She starts to piece it all together, trying to figure out Anne's true motive. Is it just to disgrace her, or is there something more? Then it hits her. She's the only one who can casually talk and laugh with the Demon King. And a jealous, petty human like Ann Soo would never let that slide. Meanwhile, at a fancy hotel, Anne is getting cozy with another demon. This one has fiery orange hair and asks why she's in such a bad mood. She sneers, vowing that in 2 days, she'll make our girl face the real world. She's determined to make her pay for daring to get close to her man. But her new demon boy has an even better idea. He pins her down, his eyes glowing with a sinister light. He whispers an offer she can't refuse. Do you want to become a real devil? He quickly plays it off as a joke, but Anne is clearly shaken. He promises to help her get revenge, warning her not to miss a single spot. Outside, Lucifer senses the dark energy, his expression hardening. He scoffs, noting that an unleashed dog has come out to eat trash, and he is not talking about the local strays. The orange-haired demon feels a shiver down his spine, but dismisses it as a false alarm. Oh, you sweet summer child, you have no idea who you just provoked. The next day at school, the final bell rings. Students wish Luna good luck on her project. Her deskmate offers to stay and help, but she insists she'll be fine on her own. She has a plan, and as she thinks to herself, if you don't leave, I won't be able to lure the snake out of the hole. Once she's alone, she gets to work, setting her trap. She hums a little tune as she hides under a cardboard box, waiting for her prey. Soon enough, one of Anne's minions sneaks into the classroom. The girl is holding a bucket of water, ready to ruin the billboard. With a mighty splash, she douses the board. Another one of Anne's lackeys snaps a photo of the vandalism, feeling victorious. Mission accomplished, or so they think. Anne celebrates her supposed victory with her demon boyfriend, smugly waiting for our girl's downfall. The next morning, the teacher is in a panic. The evaluation is about to start, and Luna is nowhere to be found. Anne puts on her best actress face, pretending to be concerned. The other students immediately start whispering, blaming Luna for ditching her responsibility. The mob mentality is in full swing. Anne smirks, suggesting they all work together to fix the damaged board. The class readily agrees. Anne then turns to one of Luna's friends, asking for her help. But she's met with a cold, hard stare. And that's when our girl makes her grand entrance, holding a massive rolled-up poster. She coolly thinks to herself that everything is going according to plan. Anne is completely floored, her jaw on the ground. Draft? She stammers, utterly confused. Our girl doesn't even spare her a glance, bumping into her as she walks past. Her deskmate grabs the poster and unfurls it with a dramatic whish. The sharp edge of the paper scratches right across Anne's face. Blood splatters through the air. Anne stumbles backward and falls, clutching her bleeding cheek in shock. Our girl looks down, her face cast in a terrifying shadow. "Ah yeah, my bad," she says, her voice dripping with fake innocence, as Anne can only stare in horror. Our girl puts Anna Sue right on the spot, telling her to pass over a bucket since they all agreed to help. Anna is absolutely fuming. How dare this nobody give her orders? But with everyone watching, she has no choice but to begrudgingly slam the bucket down. Our heroine gives her the most sickeningly sweet thank you in response. And she's not done yet, immediately asking the passionate about teamwork, Miss Sue, to help move the tables. Anna looks like she's about to explode, while our girl is just enjoying the chaos she's created. When a classmate asks what the plan is, our heroine whips out a can of spray paint and declares, "Street art." She gets right to work, but not before a teacher tries to stop her. Luckily, another student uses his wind magic to instantly dry the paint, saving the day. The finished product is absolutely stunning, and the whole class is amazed. Our girl feels a surge of pride, but her true plan was far more sinister. She used spray paint so that Anna couldn't sabotage it by painting over it. Suddenly, everyone's phones go off at once. A notification from the group chat. It's CCTV footage from the classroom. Everyone watches in horror as a shadowy figure sneaks in and throws a bucket of water all over their masterpiece. The chat explodes. Who would do such a thing? The culprit in the video turns around, and it's none other than one of Anna's lackeys. The girl panics, looking desperately at her master. But she's not taking the fall for this one. She points a shaking finger and screams, "It was Anna Sue. She made me do it." Anna is completely blindsided, sputtering that she's being slandered. The lackey's eyes widen in terror. She realizes she's just a pawn about to be sacrificed. "I have the information records," she yells, refusing to go down alone. Anna starts to get nervous, claiming the records could be faked, while our girl just sits back and enjoys the show. But then our heroine realizes her mistake. She never considered Anna would just try to shift the blame. This was supposed to be a simple exposure, not this messy drama. Just as she's panicking, a dark voice cuts through the noise. It's our girl, but her eyes are glowing a menacing red. "What is it, great artist?" she purrs, locking eyes with a terrified Anna Sue. "Did I hit the spot? Then please, show us the evidence that proves I'm the one who's guilty." She stalks forward, her demonic aura growing stronger. "Come, hand over your phone." The venom in her voice is chilling. "Let's let everyone see those information records, shall we?" Anna shrieks about privacy, but our girl isn't having it. "You said I'm framing you," she says with a terrifying smile. "So prove it." Her command echoes in the silent room. "Hand over your phone." Anna thinks she can be slick and delete the evidence before anyone sees. But our girl uses an electro spark, zapping the phone right out of her hand. As the phone flies through the air, it suddenly starts playing a very explicit audio file for the entire class to hear. Everyone is frozen, completely confused by the scandalous sounds. The whispers start immediately. Who knew the prime and proper Anna Sue had such a wild side? Anna lunges for the phone, but it's too late. Our girl catches it effortlessly. Don't be so anxious, she teases. You didn't just watch it, you were the star. Oh, the savagery. She then holds up the phone, sarcastically praising Anna for her hard work. The whole class is in shock. It really is her. The shame. Anna is absolutely mortified. Our heroine turns to Anna's boyfriend, Yoon Swan, and twists the knife. Is this real? Anna tries to explain, but he just stares at her in disgust. And then he slaps her right across the face. The sound is deafening. She cries that she was loyal to him, but he just turns and runs away, completely humiliated. Our girl smirks. Now that her personal affairs are out of the way, shall we look at those records? Anna completely breaks down, defeated. With one last hateful glare, she runs out of the classroom. And of course, that's the exact moment the teacher decides to show up. He's completely clueless, having missed the entire chaotic meltdown. The dark energy around our girl fades. She's a little surprised Anna caves so quickly. She snaps back to her normal self, wondering what that strange, powerful feeling was. In the end, their poster wins the most creative award. And as for Anna Sue, she was so humiliated she didn't show her face at school for 3 days. The school put up warning signs, and all her former friends instantly turned on her. Her reputation was in tatters. By the time anyone even thought about her again, she had already quit school. But something tells us this isn't over, because these types of villains just never seem to learn their lesson, do they? As our girl packs her bag, Lucifer materializes behind her, smoothly asking, "So, how is the taste of revenge?" She admits it's very sweet, but a flicker of doubt crosses her face. Is this really okay? She's worried that in her quest for vengeance, she's becoming the very type of person she despises. But Lucifer, in adorable chibi form, reminds her of one simple truth. Don't mess with me, and I won't mess with you. It's a simple, chaotic philosophy. He then takes it a step further, suggesting she should just kill anyone who crosses her. And our girl sweats, thinking, yep, definitely the Devil King. She flashes back to her past self, remembering how she used to be a weakling who never even tried to fight back. And in that memory, Lucifer's voice echoes, warning her that if you don't resist, you're the one who will suffer. He then cheekily pops in, declaring that her love life is about to begin. Huh? She thinks, as he casually tells her to come home for dinner, mentioning something about fried abyss octopus like it's totally normal. But just as she's about to leave, a voice calls her name. It's the school hunk, holding a massive bouquet of flowers, and our girl is utterly baffled. This is Yue Jung Yoon Swan, Anna Sue's boyfriend and the school's resident pretty boy. They've never even spoken before. So why is he suddenly approaching her now? Oh, but his inner monologue is just pure trash. He thinks she'll be easy to conquer and he's just tired of Anna Sue. He even has the audacity to check her out before smoothly thanking her for helping with the poster incident. He lays the charm on thick, saying he truly admires her talent. Then he asks if she's free for a meal after school. Our girl politely turns him down, saying she has other plans. But this guy doesn't take no for an answer. He suddenly declares he's fallen in love with her, and our girl's brain short-circuits with a massive WTF. He continues his speech, claiming he knew she was different from the moment he first saw her. Bro, she's thinking, are you for real? Freaking stupid. They've been in the same class for half a year. She mentally lists all her flaws, a manly face and terrible grades. What is there to fall for? It clicks. This has to be about Anna Sue. But he leans in, whispering that even without Anna Sue, he thinks he would still fall for her. She tries to shut him down again, reminding him that he still has a girlfriend. He gets way too close, saying he knows she's just hinting at him. Her face says it all. Get away from me, you creep. He scoffs, claiming he was just playing with Anna Sue. But with her, he's serious. Then his hands are suddenly on her waist and she screams at him to get off. He leans in even closer, smugly whispering that he knows she likes him and there's no need to be shy. He suggests they can experience something a little special, and our girl's eyes burn with rage. That's it. She's had enough. She leans in and bites him, hard, and as he stumbles back in shock, she delivers a swift kick that sends him to the floor. Fuck you about playing hard to get, she sneers, flipping him the bird. I already asked you to take your hands off me. Do you not understand human words? She slams the door on her way out, leaving him fuming on the ground, muttering that she's now caught his attention. The sun begins to set as our girl walks home. It's getting dark, and she's feeling pretty down. She walks alone under the streetlights. Then it hits her in the chaos of dealing with that creep. She left her bag behind. Now she has to go all the way back to the dark, empty school. She's worried Lucifer will be mad and prays nothing weird jumps out at her. But just as she thinks that, a sinister hand reaches for her. She tries to hurry, but a dark shadow lunges. Something slashes through the air. A massive force slams into her from behind. She's thrown to the ground, completely stunned. What's going on? She cries out. She's scraped up and bleeding, trying to understand what just happened. A gust of wind blows as a figure descends from the sky. A pink-haired girl with demonic claws looms over her, her voice dripping with venom. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you, the girl repeats, her eyes filled with pure hatred. The attacker is revealed, and it's a terrifying sight. She stomps on our heroine's hand, but suddenly, a swarm of glowing butterflies fills the air. Good evening, a smooth voice purrs. A new player has entered the game, a handsome devil with orange hair, asking if she's the one his honey wished for. The attacker looks up, recognizing him. Another devil? Our girl's mind races. Could Anna Sue be involved in this too? She flashes back to the first time Anna Sue came to her house, back when they were friends. And her eyes widen with a horrifying realization. The very next day, after Anna Sue left, she became a completely different person. Suddenly she was confident, popular, wearing makeup and hiking up her skirt. She was like a peacock, strutting for all to see. She started dating the school hunk, and everyone assumed her family's newfound success was the cause. But now our girl knows the truth. It was a devil all along. She snaps back to the present, pain shooting through her. The pink-haired demon, who must be Anna Sue, grabs her wrists, threatening to cripple her hands so she can never draw again. Her claws glow as she prepares to crush our girl's bones. But the new devil stops her. That was a bit too much, he says casually. Anna Sue is furious. Stop spouting nonsense and just do your job, she shrieks. To our girl's horror, the devil starts stripping off her clothes. She struggles frantically, screaming, "Get your hands off of me." She glares at Anna Sue. Is using a devil the only thing you're capable of? Anna Sue looks surprised. How do you know about devils? You must have made a wish too. What a pity, it's too late. A wicked smirk spreads across her face. The devil's hand slides over her skin, making her tremble with disgust. However, he whispers, licking his lips, he grabs her by the chin. There's something you're wrong about. Under the pale moonlight, his true nature is revealed. I am not a devil, he breathes into her ear, but a succubus. A succubus? Our poor heroine is frozen in terror. I will give you bliss you've never felt before, he promises, and let you fall into eternal sleep. His eyes glow with a hypnotic power. What are they? She can't resist, her body trembling as he leans closer. Her breath comes in ragged gasps. Anna Sue cackles, snapping pictures with her phone. That expression fits well with your idiotic face, she taunts, as the succubus adds that he treats virgins very gently. Our girl's consciousness begins to fade. This can't be how it ends. Our poor girl jolts awake, completely disoriented. Her eyes fall upon a strange window, the moon outside a blood-red omen. A small figure stands with his back to her, and she wonders if she's dreaming of a younger Lucifer. He looks so tiny, so different from the demon king she knows. Her hand moves on its own, patting his head as he turns with a blush, asking why she's leaving. You're Lucifer, right? She asks, her voice trembling. She reaches for him, her heart screaming, don't leave. And just like that, she's awake for real, screaming his name into the empty night. Meanwhile, in a dark forest, the demon Asmodeus is completely baffled, probably because he has a giant gaping hole punched clean through his chest. A voice cuts through the darkness, dripping with ice and fury. It's Lucifer, and he is not happy. He calls the demon a wild dog and demands to know where his owner is. The pink-haired girl who summoned Asmodeus is completely shook. She has no idea what's going on. She just knows the new transfer student somehow dodged a fatal blow. Get up, Asmodeus, she shrieks, her plan going up in flames. I thought you were supposed to be powerful, but Lucifer isn't paying her any mind. He's too busy holding our unconscious heroine, his eyes burning with rage as he dares Asmodeus to try and run. A powerful magic circle ignites around him as he roars. I'm asking you, where is your owner? But Asmodeus just laughs, casually healing his fatal wound with a swarm of butterflies. He sneers, asking why anyone would care about a small succubus like her. The creep then licks his lips, saying a devil king contracting with a human makes him very curious about how she tastes. Don't think you can live out your earthly desires just because she's your underling, he taunts. Oh, this guy is about to find out what happens when you poke a sleeping dragon. Lucifer is beyond furious, calling the contract illegal under the laws of all realms. He declares that whether it's a king or a peasant, the sin is the same, and no one is above the law. Suddenly, another demon appears, claiming to know Lucifer better than anyone. Asmodeus smirks, taunting the newcomer that Lucifer will have to execute him personally. Worry about yourself, he says with a smug grin. Lucifer cuts in, coldly admitting that he can't beat Asmodeus for now. With a flirty wink, Asmodeus promises they'll meet again, leaving the pink-haired girl to panic about her now useless contract. Oh right, almost forgot about you, he says with a dark chuckle. A terrifying, psychotic grin spreads across his face. Before she can even ask why, he attacks. He binds her in demonic chains, saying they're not great quality, but they'll do the job. Then, in the most savage move of the century, he tosses the end of the chain to Lucifer, telling him to look after his contract partner. Lucifer is left holding the bag, or in this case the unconscious girl who's now under a succubus's enticement. She keeps calling his name in her sleep, and he realizes this is going to be a very, very tough situation to handle. See, succubi are known for being beautiful, unpredictable, and utterly irresistible. They're also the most despised race in the demon world for one simple reason: their enticement skill. As Lucifer flies our girl over the city, he grumbles about what a nuisance they are. This is exactly why he hates them. Our poor heroine is burning up, panting in her sleep. He softly tells her, "I'm here," and she whispers his name, leaning into him. And then she drops a bombshell. I feel uncomfortable down there. Lucifer's entire system crashes. The Devil King is buffering. Is her brain broken, or does she just have zero filter right now? He has to admit, seeing her this unguarded is new. It's a massive departure from her usual tough girl act. He thinks about her normal expressions versus her current vulnerable state, and a shocking thought pops into his head. Isn't this pretty cute? He actually cracks a small smile. Wait, did he just think she was cute? While he's having an existential crisis, she just wants to go home. He snaps out of it, realizing in his distraction he flew way past her apartment. He finally gets her to bed, but the enticement is getting worse. The spell induces an intense feeling of lust that can only be resolved by the exchange of bodily fluids, which is how succubi drain their victims' energy. Even the mighty Devil King has no clue how to handle this without crossing a major line. He tries to call for help, opening a portal back to his palace. He opens a portal back to the Devil King's palace. His attendant, Edwin, is in the middle of a crisis because Lucifer and another demon, Paimon, are both missing. The poor guy is already stressed out. Lucifer bursts through the portal, frantically asking Edwin if there's any other way to resolve a succubus's enticement. Edwin is just relieved he's back, but Lucifer is desperate for an answer. Edwin's mind goes straight into the gutter. Enticement? A woman? He immediately assumes Lucifer abandoned all his royal duties to chase a girl. The blindfolded attendant is hilariously furious, thinking his king needs a stern lesson, but he quickly gets serious, explaining that physical contact is the only solution, and it needs to be done quickly to avoid permanent side effects. Lucifer gets the gist and hangs up before Edwin can give him the R-rated details. He turns back to our girl, who is tossing and turning in bed. Taking a deep breath, he asks her a critical question. Tell me, do you have someone you like? He figures if it's with someone she already cares about, it will be easier for her to accept when she wakes up. He steels himself for her answer, and in a weak, feverish whisper, she says the two words that shatter his composure. Lucifer will do. At that moment, everything freezes. He wasn't sure if it was the succubus's enticement affecting her, or if it was affecting his own mind. The moment is finally here, and Baal wastes no time pulling our girl into a passionate kiss. He holds her tight, not giving her a single inch to escape. This is a kiss that's been centuries in the making, and he's pouring all his pent-up feelings into it. She clings to him, completely overwhelmed by the intensity. She tries to break away, her mind screaming his name, but her body won't listen. He senses her fear and whispers for her not to be afraid, promising to take it slow. He follows it up with a gentle, reassuring kiss on her forehead. Our girl trembles but seems to give in. But slow is not in this Devil King's vocabulary, and soon he's leaving a trail of fire down her neck. Her mind is a complete blank, lost in the sensation. He lays her down, his hands already working on the buttons of her shirt. Our poor heroine is completely at his mercy. He leans in close, his voice a husky whisper as he calls her beautiful. She's a blushing, flustered mess, telling him to shut up as she hides her face in embarrassment. But her inner monologue tells a different story. Her mind has turned to mush, and she feels an emptiness that she desperately wants him to fill. She wants to pull away, but some force she can't understand is drawing her even closer, even though it's her first time. And she knows this is just another Tuesday for a Devil King. She can't bring herself to stop him. In fact, she finds herself wanting to cling to him even tighter. He tells her to relax, promising to help her get used to it. And my guy looks way too pleased with himself. She weakly asks him to be gentler, and he just smirks before diving back in for another kiss. The whole situation is getting spicier by the second. She reaches for him, calling out his name in a daze, completely lost in the moment. But just as he's about to make his move, she suddenly kicks him off. Baal is completely stunned, calling out her name in confusion. He asks if she's all right, but the look in her eyes is... Before he can even process what's happening, she grabs him with superhuman strength and slams him down onto the bed. The tables have officially turned. He can't believe her sudden power surge. And our girl, with a hungry look in her eyes, just says, "It's not enough." Her eyes are literally sparkling with little hearts. She's the one in control now, taking what she wants. And Baal? Oh, he is so here for this chaotic energy. He smirks, admitting that since she's so hungry, he'll be more than happy to satisfy her appetite. The night is about to get a whole lot crazier. The intensity continues as they're lost in a flurry of kisses, a tangled mess of limbs and emotions. But suddenly, Baal pulls back. Something's wrong. He looks down to see our girl, dazed and confused, the lustful haze completely gone from her eyes. He calls out her name, and she just shivers, asking what's going on. Realization dawns, and she frantically pulls the sheets around herself in embarrassment. A single tear escapes as she processes what almost happened. He confirms she's fully awake now. He thinks to himself that they didn't go all the way, and her strange behavior stopped. He decides he should leave and ask Edwin about it, but as he gets up to go, a small hand grabs the back of his shirt. He turns around to see her looking at him with wide, terrified eyes. Seeing how frightened she is, his heart melts on the spot. He sighs, sitting back down and promising to stay with her. He reassures her that the succubus won't come back and tells her to get some sleep. He remembers his own painful past, a time when he was just a helpless child. and how someone once protected him, holding him close and telling him they were right there. So he does the same for her, pulling her into a protective embrace and whispering, "I'm right here." He tells her to think of something else to distract herself from her fear. And our girl with the worst timing in history asks, "Is Anna Sue dead?" Ball is floored. He can't believe that's what's on her mind right now, but he confirms it. She's already dead. Her next question hits him like a punch to the gut. Then does this mean our contract is over? He slowly confirms that yes, the contract for revenge is fulfilled, and the connection between them is now broken. A golden thread connecting their souls shatters, and Baal is left reeling. He wonders why he felt the need to protect her just moments ago. He's having a full-blown existential crisis. Could it be that he's actually worried about her? The very idea is preposterous. A devil king like him, worried about a mere human? Unthinkable. Meanwhile, somewhere else under the pale moonlight, two mysterious figures stand over a body. The older one notes that this wasn't a human's doing. The younger one crouches down and smirks, a sinister glint in his eye. "There's the smell of a monster," he says. Our story continues with a devil in distress, panting and sweating in the dead of night. He can't believe it. Of all the people to run into, it's the Devil King, and in the human realm no less. He chokes back a cough, trying to hide the blood spilling from his lips. His health is declining fast, and he knows if the Devil King finds out, he's a dead man walking. He's weak, he's running out of spirits, and he desperately needs to quench his thirst with a fresh soul. And just like that, fate delivers a snack right to his doorstep. He spies a young man, looking all lost and vulnerable. A wicked grin spreads across his face as he licks his lips, promising to reunite the boy with his lover in the afterlife. With a flicker of demonic energy, he transforms, taking on a much more tempting form. "It's been a while since I tried this pose," she purrs, ready to taste her new prey. Meanwhile, her victim yelps in pain, discovering a fresh bite mark on his neck. She actually bit him. As he's tending to the wound, a sudden knock echoes through his apartment. He opens the door, shirtless and confused, only to find the gorgeous redhead from before, looking all shy and innocent. She spins a sob story about her water not working, and asks if she can possibly borrow his bathroom. The poor guy is blushing from head to toe as she leans in, promising to thank him properly for his kindness. Of course he says yes. What a simp. Back at Luna's place, things are far less romantic. Lucifer slaps some sense into her, telling her to stop her useless worrying because he's not leaving. He still has things to investigate. And besides, he promised to help our girl get strong enough for her revenge. She tries to act tough, like she doesn't care either way. But deep down, she's totally relieved he's staying, and then immediately embarrassed by her own feelings. He tells her to get some sleep, but our girl grabs him in a panic. She starts listing off chores like a disgruntled housewife, desperate for any excuse to make him stay. Lucifer just smirks, pointing out how much she sounds like she's nagging him. Finally, she breaks, admitting the real reason she's so scared. He just teases her for being a mother hen. But she's not having it. With tears in her eyes, she asks the one question haunting her: will I be implicated for her death? He grabs her face, his expression softening slightly. "For a human, you sound pretty cold-hearted yourself right now," he says, before reassuring her. He explains that humans can't detect the work of demons, so there's no way she'll be connected to Anna's death. She can finally relax. The next morning, two detectives are getting ready for the day. The younger one, Lily, is exhausted after a long night of dealing with the victim's body. His silver-haired partner tells him to hurry up. They have to go to the school to investigate. Suddenly, he wraps Lily in a back hug, getting a little too close for comfort. Lily jumps, startled, but the man just whispers in his ear, his hand sliding down his waist with a promise to continue this after work. Lily reluctantly agrees, blushing furiously. They arrive at the school, where our girl Luna is already on edge from the whole ordeal. Her friend rushes over with the latest gossip. Anna wasn't just found dead, she was murdered, and now the special forces are interviewing everyone in their class one by one. Luna tries to play it cool, but she's failing miserably. Her friend points out that she's sweating bullets. And inside, Luna's mind is racing. She knows she didn't do it, but she can't stop the panic from rising. She was the only other human there. Her world feels like it's collapsing. And right on cue, a teacher calls her name. Two detectives are here to see her. She's shaking as she agrees, wondering why they'd call for her first. "Lucifer, you promised they wouldn't detect anything," she thinks, nervously poking her head into the office. They offer her a seat and some water, telling her not to be nervous. But it's too late for that. She's in full-blown panic mode. The silver-haired detective wastes no time, looking her dead in the eye and asking, "You're the one who killed Anna, right?" In that single moment, Luna's entire future flashes before her eyes. A dark, cold prison cell. She is so screwed. And the detective's sinister smile tells her he knows it too. The interrogation starts off intense, with a brutal accusation. "You're the one who killed Anna, right?" Our girl immediately denies everything, but her voice trembles with fear. The silver-haired detective lays out the facts, and they don't look good for her. Time, place, and motive, he says it all points directly to her. She completely loses it, screaming that he's lying, but the tears start to well up in her eyes. She breaks down, sobbing that she never would have hurt her friend. "We were friends," she cries, her heart shattering on the floor. She tries to explain their falling out, but the words get stuck in her throat. Just then, the other detective switches his whole vibe, apologizing for scaring her. He admits the whole good cop bad cop routine was just a test to see how she'd react. He gives her his card, telling her to call if she finds any clues. As soon as she's gone, they get down to business. And here comes the bombshell. The silver-haired detective reveals she has the scent of demons on her. They decide to keep a close eye on her for now. And the hoodie guy is more than ready for the job. His partner gives him a little head pat for a job well done. Meanwhile, our girl is looking at the card, shocked that a major case detective team even exists. Suddenly, a familiar voice rings out in her head, and it's none other than our favorite demon king, Baal. He pops up looking smug as ever, impressed that she didn't crack under pressure. Feeling a surge of confidence, our girl declares that with him by her side, she's not afraid of anything. Baal is visibly startled by her earnest faith in him. He gets all flustered, wondering if he's getting old and soft at 18 years old. To hide his blush, he immediately pivots back to being a demonic tutor from hell, reminding her about her workbooks. And just like that, the moment is ruined, and our girl takes back everything she just said. But little do they know, someone was watching the entire one-sided conversation from down the hall, completely baffled. The same guy is now deeply concerned, noting how weird Luna has been acting lately. He suspects it all started when the new transfer student, Baal, showed up. A quick search confirms his worst fears. Baal is one of the 72 demons of Solomon. The horrifying realization dawns on him. If Luna really summoned a demon, then she's in serious trouble. He knows that wishes granted by demons come at a terrible price, and the cost depends on the demon's rank. For a high-ranking demon king like Baal, the price would be astronomical. His mind flashes to gruesome news reports of her death. He shakes his head, determined to find a way to save her. His chaotic solution: fight fire with fire, or in this case, demons with demons. He prints out a summoning circle and desperately calls out for any demon to appear. 10 minutes later, he's just a sad little dude on the floor with a smudged piece of paper. He sighs, thinking maybe he's just overreacting and demons aren't real after all. And of course, that's the exact moment a massive glowing summoning circle explodes into existence right in front of him. A beautiful horned figure appears, introducing himself as Paimon. Paimon asks the classic demon question: do you have a wish? The boy is completely awestruck by this ethereal being. He's so stunned he wonders if it's all a dream, pinching himself to make sure. The pain confirms it's very, very real. And he's still trying to process that demons actually exist. Paimon seems almost concerned that the human is hurting himself. The boy sheepishly explains he was just checking if he was dreaming. Paimon leans in, getting dangerously close, and whispers that there are better ways to check for that. Our boy immediately panics, blushing and stuttering that men and women shouldn't be so close. Paimon deadpans, "I'm male." The pure shock is written all over his face. The demon misreads his reaction, thinking he's not into guys, so Paimon says, "Fine," and with a whoosh, transforms into a drop-dead gorgeous woman, asking if this makes forming a contract easier. The gender-bending whiplash is too much for our poor boy, who erupts in a massive nosebleed and promptly passes out. Paimon just looks down at the body, confused. Did he die? His soul conveniently pops out like a popsicle, and the demon figures this just speeds up the contract process. Paimon licks their lips, wondering if eating a soul is technically illegal. But instead of eating it, Paimon leans down and starts kissing him. The boy is completely unconscious as the Demon King steals a kiss, planting a deep one right on his lips. And then, just as quickly, Paimon pulls away. Our poor girl is trapped in a terrifying nightmare, haunted by disembodied hands reaching for her from the darkness. They whisper for her to sleep, telling her she doesn't belong in this world. She's suffocating, convinced she's dying. Suddenly, a sharp green eye snaps open, and Baal's voice cuts through the terror, calling her name. Luna jolts awake, panting heavily as she realizes it was all just a dream. But before she can even catch her breath, Baal grabs her face, his expression laced with concern. He gently asks if she's okay, wondering if she wants to take a day off. Our girl tries to play it cool, insisting it was just a nightmare and nothing serious. Baal just tells her to hurry up and get ready for school. It's been a week since the succubus attack, and she's been plagued by these nightmares ever since. But as she gets dressed, she admits to herself that they've been getting weirder lately. The words from her dream echo in her mind. "You shouldn't be in this world." What could that possibly mean? She tries to shake it off as she heads to school, but the chaos follows her. As a classmate bursts in shouting about a disaster in the park, apparently some guy is running around dressed like a medieval knight, stopping people to ask where the Demon King is, claiming he's a hero destined to defeat him. Luna scrolls through her phone, seeing videos of the spectacle, and thinking it's probably just some kind of performance art. But in the video, the hero looks desperate, begging people to believe him. Her classmate starts spiraling, pointing out that if this world has demons, then it's totally possible that heroes exist too. He gets so worked up that he clutches his head, having a full-blown existential crisis right there in the classroom. Luna can't help but think that if she hadn't summoned Baal herself, she probably wouldn't believe in any of this either. Meanwhile, Baal spots another student looking pale and drained. He can smell the foul stench of a succubus and scoffs, annoyed that his brother Mort can't even control a single one of his underlings. It's obvious the poor guy's energy was completely sucked dry after being played with. Baal decides he'll have to pay his big brother a little visit before things get completely out of hand. But while he's gone, how can he keep Luna safe? He can't be sure that the succubus won't come back for her. He's tormented by visions of her being in danger, of her getting hurt because of him. He wonders if he should just tell her everything, to enlighten her to the dangers she's in. After all, the succubus Asmodeus only set his sights on Luna because he got involved in the first place. He clenches his fist, deciding he can't allow an innocent human to get dragged into his demonic family drama. Back at home, Luna is still giddy from the memory of Baal flying with her. She remembers how his embrace, despite him being the demon lord, felt so warm and safe. Baal cuts her daydream short, getting straight to business. He explains that since she's never been exposed to magic, he can't figure out what kind of power has awakened inside her. So he does the most logical thing a demon can do. He slices his own hand open. He tells her his blood is full of magic and can guide her awakening, but warns her that it's a tough way. A single perfect drop of blood floats towards her. He tells her to eat it. When she hesitates, he gets that signature smirk on his face and teases her. "Or do you want me to feed you mouth to mouth?" Flustered, our girl snatches the drop from the air and swallows it herself, wondering if this can really work. He tells her to close her eyes. He pulls her close, his hands on her shoulders, and whispers for her to think of nothing. The world goes dark, and when she opens her eyes again, she's standing in a vast, white, empty space. She figures it must be her inner world, just like in the comics, and hilariously starts wondering if she needs to meditate to find her power. But then she spots a figure sitting in the distance, and she immediately wonders how he is doing. A woman's voice answers her, confirming she's thinking about Baal. The mysterious figure says that Baal has grown up, explaining that demons live for so long that a few decades is nothing. The woman sounds sad, saying she's relieved he's fine, but wishes she could see him face to face. Then she turns to Luna with a request. "Could you help me take care of him?" Luna is completely baffled. "Take care of him?" she splutters. "Actually, he's the one taking care of me." She starts listing off all the chores Baal does, from cleaning and cooking to even tutoring her with her homework. Finally, Luna asks the million-dollar question. "Who are you?" The figure turns, revealing a face that looks exactly like Luna's, but with elven ears and crimson eyes. And she asks right back, "Why do you look like me? Where is this?" Baal gently lays our unconscious girl down, explaining that human souls vary from person to person. Because of this, their awakened powers and attributes are all different. He stares intently, wondering what she can see deep down in her soul. Suddenly, our girl is in a strange, dark void, and a woman who looks exactly like her asks who Baal is to her. Our heroine is completely bewildered, demanding to know where she is and why this woman is her doppelganger. In a moment of pure chaos, she even blurts out. The woman just laughs it off, teasing that maybe she's his mother or older sister. But she quickly clarifies they're not related by blood, which only makes our girl more confused. Our heroine's eyes narrow as she demands to know who this mysterious woman is. The woman's face turns serious as she replies, "I have no name. They all call me the Immortal Witch," she says with a dangerously smug smile. The name sends a shiver down our girl's spine. Even an immortal witch can die one day. The witch stands before her in the vast emptiness of her consciousness. She points a sharp finger at our heroine, declaring that this immortal power will now be her weapon. "Take it," she commands, and a brilliant golden light bursts from her hand, surging towards our girl. The witch's expression is grim as she warns her not to repeat the same mistakes she did. She then reveals that they are in the deepest corner of our girl's own heart. The realization hits our heroine like a ton of bricks. This woman, this witch, is a part of her. A blinding light completely engulfs her, and she feels herself changing, floating in the warm glow. Golden particles dance around her, and she feels an overwhelming sense of peace, wondering if this is enlightenment. She slowly opens her eyes to see Baal looking down at her. She groggily sits up, feeling like she's been asleep for ages. Baal points out that her hair has grown incredibly long and her clothes seem to have shrunk. He playfully tugs on a long strand of her hair, noting that she's even taller now, a side effect of her new healing powers. He asks her what she saw deep in her soul during her awakening. She answers simply, "I saw a woman." But when she tells him the woman's name was the Immortal Witch, Baal's entire demeanor shatters. His eyes widen in pure shock. "Impossible," he roars, his voice filled with disbelief and horror. He's thrown into a violent flashback of blood and chains, screaming that the Immortal Witch died over 200 years ago. The Demon Lord is completely losing it, spiraling into a panic. Our poor girl flinches back, terrified by his sudden violent reaction as he clutches his head, gasping for air. He's trapped in a memory, a nightmare he's been trying to escape. He remembers the witch's face, a face he thought he'd long forgotten. But he was wrong. He hadn't forgotten. He had been actively suppressing the memory of her. He refused to recall her and the pain she caused. Now, looking at our girl, he can't deny the uncanny resemblance. He questions why he's still here, why he worries about her when their contract is over. He knows it's all just excuses. The real reason is that she looks so much like her. He snaps out of his daze and tells our girl to get some rest. He needs to clear his head, announcing he's going out for a while. The door slams shut, leaving our girl alone and confused. She can only watch him go. Outside, Bal stares at the moon, his mind racing. The immortal witch, he hasn't heard that name in over 200 years. He remembers her supposed end, a bloodbath she started that left her as nothing but ashes in the devildom's history books. So why? Why would Jisa Rusha sin her and her soul? It makes no sense. A normal human shouldn't even know of the witch's existence. Her mother was an ordinary person. And her father, wait a second. Her father? A sudden horrifying possibility dawns on him. He connects the dots. Molly, the demon who shouldn't be in the human world, the other demon with her. The sudden spike in illegal contracts, and now the immortal witch. He can't ignore the signs any longer. His demonic wings burst from his back. He has to go back to the devilдom immediately. With a powerful flap, he shoots into the night sky. Meanwhile, back on the ground in a city park, someone is hiding in the tall grass. It's the angel, and his senses are tingling. He looks up, sensing a demonic presence in the air. Back in the demon realm, a little cat boy scolds someone off screen. If you intended to throw it, don't keep it in the first place. They will be sad. A cat girl maid suddenly appears, calling him a little kook. She tells him Lord Molly wants to see him, and he needs to go back. The cat boy just looks away, but the scene around him is pure chaos, covered in blood. Meanwhile, back at our girl's apartment, Bal is giving her some parting gifts. He explains that one bracelet is a guide to keep her power active, while the other is a defensive tool that can create a barrier 3 times. He tells her he's leaving and that she needs to protect herself, but before he goes, he tells her to turn around. In a flash of light, he conjures a beautiful red ribbon. He gently holds up her long hair, and our girl's heart starts to go thump-thump. He skillfully ties the ribbon, creating a perfect bow. He tells her that with this, he can find her quickly no matter where she is. A demon-powered GPS, how romantic. And with a final humph, he disappears in a swarm of bats. She's left all alone in the room, and for a moment, it feels like he was never even there. But then she glances at the new bracelet on her wrist. A solid reminder that everything that happened was very, very real. The next day at school, she's completely zoned out when a classmate calls her name. He asks if she'll be joining the 2-week class trip for the holidays. Remembering Bal's warning to lay low, she comes up with a quick excuse about finding a tutor. She looks down at the bracelets, silently hoping she'll never actually need to use them. But trouble is already brewing. In another realm, a different demon lord is told about a human girl who signed a contract with his rival. Lounging on his throne, he gives a simple, chilling command: go get her. The one sent to do his bidding is none other than the blue-haired catboy, who accepts the mission without hesitation. The holiday finally begins. Our girl is taking Bale's advice to heart, deciding it's best not to go out for a whole month. As she soaks in the tub, she wonders if she can keep Bal safe until he returns. Suddenly, her peaceful bath is interrupted by a massive bang as the window shatters. Glass flies everywhere, and our heroine scrambles to cover herself. An intruder steps through the broken frame. He splashes water on her, sneering that it's no use disguising herself as a human. He grabs her by the throat, declaring, "Today is your last day. Go die." He pins her down, ready to strike, but then freezes, utterly confused. Demon Lord, he can't believe it. The Demon Lord is a woman? I didn't know that. Seeing her chance, our girl grabs the nearest weapon, the shower head, and screams, "Go to hell." She smacks him square in the face with a loud bang. She pants, shocked at her own ferocity. The attacker crumples to the floor, groaning that it hurts. "Weirdo, get out of here," she yells, still wielding the shower head. The intruder, Beelzebub, has the audacity to call her despicable, while she threatens to call the police. He starts ranting about her evil deeds and involving the human world. Our girl is completely lost. Demon Lord? Human world? She thinks this guy must be some kind of cosplayer on a weird trip. She glances at his very fantasy-esque boots, and then it clicks. This man is definitely not from around here. With a furious yell, she throws a stool at him, knocking him down again. He finally gets it. She's not the Demon Lord, just his contractor. She sits him down for an interrogation. An adventurer who came to kill the Demon Lord but can't even recognize him. He admits he's never seen him before. Pathetic. She scoffs, knowing a weakling with a water sprayer is no match for Bale. She lays it out for him. "I'm not the Demon Lord, he's gone back to his world. You can leave now," but he refuses, declaring he'll wait right here until Bale returns. "I'll stay here," he insists. Our girl explodes. "No way, my home is not a hotel." But then, the dopey adventurer gets an idea. He offers her a pile of glittering gold coins as an accommodation fee. Suddenly, our girl's eyes are sparkling with dollar signs, her anger completely forgotten. "Please, feel at home," she says with a dazzling smile. The adventurer is overjoyed. "I will, thank you very much." He blushes, completely oblivious that he's just rented a room from his target's contractor. Our girl is having some major morning after regrets, thinking about how she let a total stranger stay over just for some cash. Meanwhile, her new houseguest is marveling at the wonders of modern plumbing, exclaiming that it can burn without magic. He's completely losing his mind over it, saying it's clearer than space mirror magic. She just tells him to have fun with his new toy and find her if he needs anything. What a saint. She collapses back into bed, muttering that this is basically like adopting a very large, very confused child. At least he's an adventurer, and not a demon, she thinks. Silver linings, I guess. But as she lies there, a different thought starts to creep in. She's felt it ever since that incident. Ever since then, there's been a special tingling feeling down there. She tries to brush it off, telling herself it's a holiday and she deserves to relax a little, but her body betrays her as a strange light envelops her hand. She lets out a startled gasp. Lying back on her pillow, a blush creeps across her face as she whispers, "I want more." She's getting frustrated, wondering how Baal managed to do it before. She tries to replicate the feeling, letting out a soft moan. But it's not the same. She thinks back, remembering that Baal's hand felt more. The memory of him holding her from behind, his demonic presence sending shivers down her spine, floods her senses. It's so vivid, it's like he's actually helping her, and our poor girl just can't take it anymore. Suddenly, a sound from the living room snaps our blue-haired boy out of his TV trance. He wonders what's wrong, remembering she told him to come get her if anything happened. So, like any good houseguest, he decides to go check on her. He bursts into the room and immediately drops to one knee, asking her to marry him. "Sir, this is not the time or the place." He declares he'll take responsibility for her, claiming it's against his code of chivalry to make a lady cry. He must have heard her, crying and gotten the completely wrong idea. He swears he won't make excuses and asks her to let him take care of her. He's so earnest and flustered, it's almost cute. Our girl can't help but giggle at the absolute absurdity of it all. She gently tells him that while he's a good man, girls prefer proposals born from love, not a misplaced sense of knightly duty. It's a sweet but firm rejection. She cups his face, her touch surprisingly tender. She tells him that compared to certain other guys who are all talk, she finds his straightforward, simple nature far more adorable. The poor boy is blushing so hard he might actually explode, stammering that he was at fault. She tells him not to worry about it, taking his hands in hers. His heart absolutely hammers in his chest. Is this love? In his eyes, she's suddenly more glamorous than any princess he's ever seen. He realizes in that moment, she's different. He starts to say something, but before he can get the words out, the window shatters in a deafening explosion. He immediately throws himself in front of her, shielding her from the glass. Standing in the broken window is a shadowy figure with cat ears. Our girl's blood runs cold. The enchantment Baal left behind has been broken. A cat-like demon boy smirks down at them, asking if this is the bad girl's home. The knight doesn't hesitate for a second, stepping in front of her and shouting, "Demon!" He summons his sword, but the intruder just scoffs, saying his business isn't with the male. His glowing eyes lock onto our girl, recognizing her immediately. "It's you," he snarls, before lunging straight for her. The knight moves like lightning to intercept the attack, kicking the demon with a savage blow. Our girl screams for him to stop, knowing this is a fight he can't win. The demon is just too fast, easily dodging the attack and grabbing onto her. He gives her a chilling lick on the cheek, whispering, "I got you," and purring that a good girl should be obedient. "Dore." With a wicked grin, he says, "Come with me." This creepy wolf boy pins our girl against the wall, hissing that his Lord Molly wants her and she should be honored. But just as she panics, a flash of light appears and her classmate screams, "Let her go." He lunges forward, his light-infused blade clashing with the demon's claws. He warns the creature that this is not a place for demons to run wild. He threatens him with the judgment of the god of light, but the wolf boy just scoffs, throwing the guy's weapon aside and yelling that Lord Molly is the only god here. He charges forward, screaming that he'll kill the light's lackey. With a sickening crack, he smashes the guy's wrist, sending him crashing to the floor. Our girl realizes his wrist is broken, and in this demonic territory, his light magic will take way too long to activate. She's consumed by guilt, knowing he only got involved because of her. As the demon lunges for the final blow, our girl makes a split-second decision and dashes right in front of her friend. The wolf boy's claws tear straight through her chest, leaving both of them frozen in shock. She coughs up a horrifying amount of blood, a gaping wound where her heart should be. The demon pulls his hand back, absolutely horrified by the blood. "No!" He completely panics, stammering, "What am I gonna do?" Our poor heroine collapses, leaving a trail of blood on the floor. The wolf boy starts crying, wailing that she was Lord Molly's prey, and now he's messed everything up. He's terrified that his master will be disappointed in him. Our girl realizes she pushed her powers too hard, and the one thing that could save her, her bracelet, is back in her room. Her friend rushes to her side, yelling that she's a human and an injury like this could kill her. But she weakly insists she'll be okay. He's in tears, pointing out that he has the light god's power, so he won't die. But what about her? Bleeding from her mouth, she promises him she won't die either. "Don't talk like I'm dying," she says. Ever the badass. Suddenly, the demon boy lets out a blood-curdling, inhuman scream. The sheer force of his howl shatters all the windows in the apartment. Her friend quickly shields her from the flying glass. Elsewhere, the shriek echoes through the city. The entire building begins to shake. The disturbance wakes a tiny red-clad demon girl from her nap among a pile of books. "Noisy," she mutters, annoyed, wondering what on earth Molly is up to. She gets up, a dangerous glint in her eye, deciding it's time to teach someone a lesson. Turns out, this new girl and her companion have been watching the whole chaotic scene unfold through a magical projection. They gaze at the image of our heroine and her two admirers. The companion notes with interest that Molly has taken an interest in a human. The little demon girl watches intently. Is the girl the treasure of the human world? She wonders, before abruptly declaring, "I'm out," and leaping out the skyscraper window. Back in the apartment, our girl's friend explains the demon went crazy because the scent of a demon lord in her house is too strong for him to handle. He frets that his light magic is too weak here to heal her. But she simply places a hand on his chest and says, "I'm fine." She reveals her body recovered on its own, without her bracelet. It seems her own power is far stronger than she ever imagined. Relieved but still on guard, he agrees to her next request. Help her capture the demon alive. She has to know what the demon lord Molly wants from her. Is she just another soul to be collected? Or is she special? If she can get some answers from this servant, she can finally prepare for Molly's future attacks and maybe even beat him at his own game. Her friend stares in disbelief at her miraculously healed wound, while the wolf boy is equally shocked that she's not dead. A twisted, happy smile spreads across his face. Great, Lily, now he can complete his task after all. Her friend raises a hand, gathering his power. He unleashes a powerful blast of light magic straight at the demon. But out of nowhere, a giant creepy black bunny teleports right into the path of the attack. It lands with a heavy thud, taking the blast head-on. Then, with a flick of its unseen master's wrist, the bunny backhands the wolf boy, sending him flying across the room. Our heroes can only stare, completely dumbfounded by this new development. The little demon girl appears, patting her giant bunny familiar. "Hey kitten," she says coolly, "be a good boy." The wolf boy trembles in fear. This little girl is so powerful he can't even fight back. She's even stronger than his lord. Realizing he is severely outleveled, he curses and makes a swift escape out the window. Our girl turns to their mysterious savior and thanks her for the help. But her friend isn't so trusting, pointing his light sword at the child and demanding to know who she is. With a sweet smile, the little demon introduces herself. "My name is Gremory, a treasure hunter." Shia Rochu stands his ground, sword at the ready, warning everyone not to move. But the tiny demon girl just giggles, telling the little knight to chill out. She scoffs, saying he'd already be 6 feet under if she actually meant any harm. He fires back that demons are merciless and he won't let her near our girl. The demon, whose name we learn is Gremory, just laughs in his face, mocking him for not even being able to handle Molly's servant. Our heroine, bleeding out, puts 2 and 2 together. Gremory knows Molly, but she also attacked his demon cat. Maybe she's not an enemy after all? Gremory sniffs the air, confirming the strong demonic presence, which makes Yarochu realize his powers of light were being suppressed. And our girl's heart clenches. He wasn't weak, his powers were just nerfed. And he still threw himself in front of her to protect her. Looking at the gushing wound on her stomach, our girl decides she's had enough of this chaos. She cuts right through the tension and asks Miss Gremory just what she's doing here. Gremory gives a cute little pose, declaring she's a treasure hunter on the hunt for, you guessed it, treasures. She gets uncomfortably close, her face inches from our girl's, and asks if there's some kind of secret treasure hidden on her. Our heroine plays dumb, but Gremory is confident, saying her prophecies are never wrong. She launches into a flashback, explaining that 300 years ago she heard an incredible treasure was destined to appear in the human world. So she used her magic to get a head start, and came to the human realm early to wait. For centuries, she's been patiently waiting for this treasure to finally emerge. Our girl cuts her off, asking why she's bugging her about it then. Gremory explains her predictions led her to this very city, but then the trail went cold, leaving her totally lost. She laments how demons just take what they want, flashing back to a certain smug, red-headed demon, and her frustration is palpable. She planned to get answers from that little demon kitten, but the coward ran away. Our girl sees an opportunity and suggests asking Molly directly, hoping to forge an alliance. Well, that was the wrong thing to say. Gremory has an absolute meltdown, screaming that she will never ever meet that B word, not even if she dies. Our heroine is just a little taken aback by this extreme reaction. Thinking fast, our girl proposes a deal. This finally gets Gremory's attention, and she plops down on the sofa, ready to listen. "Tell me," she says, her interest piqued. Our girl offers to get info on the treasure from Molly. In exchange for one thing, she wants the power to protect herself. Gremory just lies down on the couch, lets out a little poof, and then bursts into hysterical laughter. Sharuochu is totally lost, asking if the deal is off, but our girl's expression doesn't waver. Gremory is literally crying from laughter, calling our girl hilarious. But then, her demeanor shifts on a dime. Her eyes turn cold as she asks, "Do you know you're dealing with a demon?" Her eyes glow with a menacing red light. She tries to be intimidating, baring her fangs and asking if our girl isn't afraid she'll eat her soul. But our girl is completely unfazed, coolly replying that Gremory would have already killed her, if that was her plan. Gremory seems impressed by her sheer nerve. She approaches the pair, making them both tense up. She points out that our girl already has self-healing powers, touching the wound and reminding her she's no longer a normal human. Isn't that enough? But our girl is determined. "I need more strength," she declares. Strength to fight her own battles. She's done hiding and being protected. Remembering Baal's words, she knows she needs real power, not just passive healing. Then she tacks on one more condition. She wants to know about the bad blood between Gremory and Molly. Gremory looks curious for a second, but our girl immediately backs down, saying to forget it. Gremory just waves a hand dismissively, declaring she doesn't want to get involved in their business. And just like that, she flies away, leaving our heroes alone and with more questions than answers. Our girl, with her life on the line, decides to make a pact with the devil herself. And this little demon, she's intrigued. Lounging on the couch like a chaotic queen, Gremory sizes up the human before her. Rochu lays out her offer. She can get Gremory intel about the treasure from Molly's own demon servant. But in exchange for this juicy gossip, our girl wants one thing and one thing only: the power to protect herself. Gremory just flips herself over, and then completely loses it, bursting into a fit of laughter. Molly is standing there like, wait, her request doesn't work? But nope, Gremory just thinks it's hilarious. She's literally wiping away tears, calling our girl funny for wanting to make a deal. Rochu's face hardens. She's dead serious. Suddenly, the vibe shifts. Gremory's eyes narrow as she reminds Rochu who she's dealing with. A demon. She tries to sound menacing, asking if Rochu isn't afraid she'll eat her soul. But our girl doesn't even flinch. She just stares back, her resolve unwavering. You'd have killed me already if you wanted to, she says, her voice steady. She walks right up to the demon, unafraid, closing the distance between them. Gremory seems a little impressed by her sheer audacity. But she's not sold yet, pointing out the obvious. You already have the self-healing power, she says, gesturing to the still bloody wound on Roachu's side. She pokes at the injury, asking if being basically immortal isn't enough. But for our girl, it's not. I need more strength, she declares. Strength to fight back on her own terms. She's done hiding and being protected. She remembers Bale's words that power is the only way to resist. Then she adds another condition, wanting to know the history between Molly and Gremory. The little demon's ears perk up with curiosity, but Ruochu immediately backs down, saying to forget it. Gremory just waves a dismissive hand. I don't want to get involved in your business, she huffs, floating into the air and preparing to leave. She just hovers there, leaving them in suspense. But just as she's about to peace out, she zips back down. Promise me, she says, hanging upside down like a bat. After you get this power, you'll punch him in the face for me. Ruochu's face lights up as she gives a big thumbs up. Deal. Gremory grins. I like you. Deal. And with a handshake, the pact is sealed. Gremory explains that turning her healing into an attack is tricky, but luckily, her ability is similar to a friend's, making it easier. Ruochu remembers Baal calling it the power of the immortal witch, and realizes Gremory isn't even surprised by it. Could Gremory's friend be? Gremory casually mentions her friend died because his body couldn't handle the power, which is not reassuring at all, while Gremory just stares off into space. Don't worry, the demon says, floating cheerfully. Your body has been strengthened. She gets right up in Ruochu's personal space, sniffing her. You smell like you've been marked by a demon, she teases, poking our girl's cheek and saying she's already been exposed. Then she goes full shipper mode, making a heart out of bats and telling them to just go for their interracial love story. Ruochu is absolutely mortified. We're off topic, she yells, red as a tomato. Trying to get things back on track, she asks how to make her ability more aggressive. Her first idea is turning into a tiny feral gremlin covered in weapons, or maybe just using her immortal body as a human shield. Gremory's response is brutally simple. You will die. She lays down the hard truth. You're not immortal, and you're still going to die. With that cheerful thought, she demonstrates, creating a deadly shuriken out of blood. It spins ominously in Ruochu's hand. She practices while Gremory watches. Easy, right? The demon asks, as if it's nothing. She then forms a blood sword, warning Rochu to be careful not to bleed out faster than she can heal. I'll be waiting for good news, Gremory says, before hopping on a giant teddy bear and flying out the window. What a chaotic exit. A moment later, Molly appears in the doorway. I'm ready, he says, prepared for their training session. Ruochu summons her new blood weapon with a grin. Blood solidifies into terrifying claws around her hand. She's ready for this. Outside, Molly tries to talk her out of it one last time. You don't have to do that. I can protect you. But as he draws his blade, she shatters his attack with a single powerful swipe of her blood weapon. She's done being a damsel in distress. I want to be strong, she declares, her blood claws gleaming in the moonlight. A proud smirk spreads across Molly's face. Let's go. He readies his stance, promising not to go easy on her. But high above, another demon watches with burning red eyes. It's Baal, and he is not pleased, looking down at Molly's poor, captured servant. His master is less than pleased to see him back empty-handed. He scolds our poor kitten for failing his mission. He was so close to succeeding, but his master only has one thing to say. Failure is failure, and it seems failure comes with a very slimy punishment. Our boy starts coughing up some nasty green goo as a new guy casually strolls into the room, covered in the stuff. He casually smashes a window, and the slime forms a sickeningly sweet heart shape. This guy is clearly enjoying himself way too much. Later, his master is back to his usual activities. He tells our kitten that the twins will go with him next time, just to test a new sample from their resident slime ball. Our poor boy can only agree, trembling. His master grabs him by the chin, his voice a low whisper. My little kitten, don't let me down. Meanwhile, in a desolate corner of devildom, a monstrous plant creature lies in wait for its next meal. A lone black cat approaches, completely unafraid. The monster drools, thinking it's found an easy snack. But this is no ordinary cat. It lets out a ferocious roar as it's enveloped in a demonic aura, taking down the beast in a spray of blood. After the fight, it calmly cleans its paws. But its rest is short-lived as it spots new prey. The demonic cat lunges at the newcomer, a mysterious red-headed man. The man, however, is completely unfazed. "You're biting off more than you can chew," he says with a bored expression. And with a single unseen strike, the demonic beast is annihilated. The man sighs, clearly exhausted. "I didn't expect to be treated like this after I came back." He gets to his feet, annoyed. "The security is pretty terrible. I've only been away for a few months." He realizes he can't just waltz back into the city. He needs intel, so he pulls out a demonic communication mirror. "Put Beathy on." But his call won't go through. The demon lord Baal is absolutely livid. How dare he not answer my calls? His claws extend, ready to tear something apart. Elsewhere, we see exactly why Beatha isn't answering. He's been captured and chained in a dungeon. He's panicking, realizing his situation is dire. "Me, the first auxiliary officer of Beelzebub, I got caught." With a gag in his mouth and anti-demon chains binding him, he can't chant spells or contact his lord. He has to break free, but how? He grits his teeth, knowing there's only one humiliating way out. His demon wings begin to shrink as he transforms into a tiny chibi bat form. He's absolutely mortified, but it's his only choice. He easily slips through the bars, vowing revenge. "Lord Baal, wait for me." Back with Baal, his fury turns to cold worry. Beatha has never failed to answer his call in centuries. Something is definitely wrong. With a flick of his cloak, massive wings sprout from his back, and he takes to the sky. He arrives at the outskirts of a city in ruins. He realizes that time flows differently here. His few months in the human world could have been much longer in devildom. Since he can't reach his trusted subordinate, he'll have to get answers from someone else. He spots the perfect targets, a group of low-life thugs looking for an easy score. They see his fancy clothes and think he's a rich pushover. Oh, how wrong they are. With a simple flick of his wrist, he traps them in a glowing red cage. He appears before them like a phantom of death. "Listen," he commands. And one of the thugs lets out a blood-curdling scream. Baal has effortlessly sliced off his leg. "Answer me some questions, and I'll spare your leg," he says, his voice dripping with ice. He asks for the current year. The terrified demon tells him it's year 615. Baal is stunned. It's been over a year. He then asks about the demon castle. The thug spills everything. The top executives are at war, the demon lord is dying, and a usurper named Mott is about to take the throne. Baal's face is grim. "Last question. Where is the intelligence dealer Jingle?" The thug quickly tells him Jingle is in the strong demon zone and begs to be freed. Baal simply says yes. The thug is relieved for a split second before confusion dawns on his face. "Why?" Baal turns away, his parting words a death sentence. "I didn't say that I will leave you alive." He makes his way to the strong demon zone. As a bell jingles, he enters a room showered in rose petals. Suddenly, a small winged girl with an eye patch leaps at him, shouting his name. "Baal, I miss you so much," she cries, tackling him to the ground. She pounces on him and smashes her lips against his, but as she kisses him, she pulls back, a strange look on her face.
"What, substitute again?" she exclaims in frustration.
Just then, the door opens, revealing another red-headed demon, this one with a crescent moon on his forehead, and he's holding her signature red halo. Our girl Vasigo arrives, looking like an absolute snack and carrying one too. But her client, the moody demon lord Beatha, doesn't look too happy to see her. He greets her with all the warmth of a frozen tomb. He just sips his tea, ignoring the absolute vision she is. So she goes for the jugular, asking if he's finally ready to admit he's fallen for her. He fires back with a savage comment about her breath, and she just casually roasts him for being single. She declares she's the only woman in the world who could possibly put up with his chaotic energy, and he threatens to literally send her to hell. All the banter stops when he gets serious. He needs to know what's been going on in devildom while he was away. She just casually munches on a flower, telling him it's a long story. He is not in the mood. "Make it short," he growls. She gives him a laundry list of disasters. The library was robbed, his second-in-command is missing, his throne was stolen, and the angels attacked. Pick your poison, buddy. The tension between them is so thick you could cut it with a knife. His glowing red eyes narrow. He knows exactly what information he needs first. The immortal witch. He demands a record of the witch's last appearance, including every last detail of the final battle. But our girl explains that's the one record the witch sealed herself. She wants what she can't have. Beatha silently demands she name her price. She smiles, knowing she has him right where she wants him. "You know my rule, a barter. And her price? A single strand of the immortal witch's hair." Her eye glows with intensity. She removes her eye patch, revealing a hidden power. A magic circle appears, and from it, she produces the sealed scroll he's been looking for. She tells him a small piece of the witch's soul is sealed inside. As he takes it, he warns her not to tell anyone he's back. Then he immediately realizes how dumb it is to ask an intelligence broker to keep a secret. She just gives him a cute little wave, and with that, he takes his leave. She watches him go, her part of the bargain complete. Lounging in his chair, she examines her prize. But suddenly, a voice calls out her name, and she realizes someone else has arrived. He's back. Meanwhile, on the throne of devildom, sits the new ruler, a usurper with a smug look on his face, and he's been waiting for Beatha's return for a very, very long time. Elsewhere, Beatha tries to process the information he just bought. The scroll describes an ancient concept, a soul split into 3 immortal parts and 7 mortal forms. He downs his drink, his mind racing. It's an Eastern interpretation of the soul. If Vasigo was telling the truth, and these are fragments of the witch's soul, it means the rest of her didn't disappear. The pieces are just scattered somewhere else. Like for instance, the human world. His thoughts drift to the woman who looks just like her. What if those soul fragments were absorbed by someone else? This brings him to the million-dollar question. Who is Yarochu? Is she just some random human who inherited the witch's memories, or is she the witch herself, reborn with most of her soul? He chugs his drink, the possibilities overwhelming him. He throws down his payment and storms out of the bar. He decides overthinking is useless. He needs to find the fragments. But what about Yarochu? He tries to convince himself he shouldn't think of her. He doesn't even know if they're the same person. Sure, buddy. Keep telling yourself that. But he can't get her out of his head. Shaking it off, he focuses on his first priority, checking the clues he has. Back in the celestial realm, the angels are getting restless. Their leader, the impossibly beautiful Metatron, is waiting. His men report that there's been no response from Devildom. Metatron isn't worried. He told them to come today after all. His subordinate is freaking out about a potential war, but Metatron is acting like he's been stood up for a coffee date. And get this, the date was with Beth. He knows Bitha is never late, so something must be wrong at the demon castle. A sly, mischievous smile spreads across his face. He announces he's going to pop over for a visit and just teleports away, leaving his poor soldiers utterly baffled. Inside the demon castle, a young demon librarian is minding her own business. When suddenly, Metatron appears at her window, chirping, "Hey little girl." She completely panics. An angel? Here? He quickly calms her down, claiming to be a friend of Lord Bitha. She is not buying it for 1 second. He proves it by pointing out that the quill on her desk is one of his own feathers, a gift from him to Bitha. Shaken, she asks what he wants. He explains that he and Bitha had a meeting, but the demon lord was a no-show. The poor girl stammers out that she thinks Lord Bitha went to the human world. Metatron's ears perk up. Bitha went to the human world? He's heard that another powerful demon, Baal, has gone there too. For Bitha to abandon his duties to go there as well. Well, this is just too interesting to ignore. It seems all the fun is happening in the human world, and Metatron is ready to crash the party. As our red-headed demon lord flies through the desolate nightscape, he knows it's time. He decides he must finally return to the demon castle. But as he approaches, he spots something absolutely monstrous. It's Mott's corpse dragon, somehow reanimated and standing guard. Baal surveys the land, his plans already going sideways. He prepares a magic circle, ready for a fight. Suddenly, a small figure plummets from the sky. It's a little demon maid, and she has a message. Lord Mott has prepared a banquet and has been waiting a very long time for him. So the snake actually did come back. Baal is unimpressed and tells her to have Mott come to him instead. But the maid relays a chilling threat. If he doesn't show up, Mott will destroy the immortal witch in the book hall. Oh, he did not just threaten the witch. Baal snaps, demanding to know where Bitha is. The maid simply passes on Mott's final, smug message. If you have any questions, come to me. Baal can only utter one word for his rival, card. And then, in a flash of absolute brutality, he completely obliterates the messenger. Meanwhile, at the so-called banquet, a pink-haired bunny boy complains about being on a diet. But the green-haired Lord Mott just tells him to shut up and eat, completely confident that their guest of honor will arrive. And just like that, a servant announces that Lord Baal has arrived. With a smirk, Mott welcomes him in. The doors swing open to reveal a swarm of bats, pouring into the hall. They coalesce into Baal's form, making one hell of an entrance. The bats fly through the air, and in a flash, Baal is upon them. He lunges straight for Mott's throat. Mott doesn't even flinch as the attack whizzes past his face. He counters with a strike of his own, his sharp nails aimed right at Baal's heart. The blow connects with a sickening touch. But wait, a giant squishy pink bunny shield appears out of nowhere, blocking the attack. The bunny boy pops up with a cheerful, "Hello," sitting atop his bizarre magical creation. He gives Baal a sly look and says, and then, it's a trap. A shadowy attack strikes Baal from behind. He coughs up blood, completely blindsided by the betrayal. And with a sickeningly sweet bye-bye, the bunny boy watches him fall. Blood drips from Baal's mouth as he struggles to comprehend what just happened. The little traitor just whines about how bloody and gross it is. Mott examines his own bleeding hand from the initial clash, completely unfazed. He grabs Baal by the hair, yanking his head up with a vicious grip. "How dare you come back?" Mott sneers, asking how it feels to lose his head. He then crushes the illusionary head in his hand, causing it to burst into nothing. The moment triggers a memory from long ago. He remembers his sister saving a young, pathetic Baal, and the rage he felt. He can still hear her soft voice telling the little demon, "Let's live together from now on, shall we?" Young Baal was so stunned he could barely speak, but all young Mott could feel was a burning, jealous hatred. He watched as Baal cried innocent tears, and his sister comforted him. She had the audacity to tell Mott not to scare his new brother. She pushed them together, telling Mott to take care of him. Baal looked on, confused by the word brother. Mott just scoffed in disgust, earning him a sharp pinch from his sister until he screamed no. In another memory, the immortal witch stands with her two young charges as other demons gossip about them. They whisper that getting close to her is a death sentence. Little Baal just clutches her cape, thinking they're all just scum. And through it all, Mott watched. thinking she was the best sister in the world. Back in the present, Mott stands over his defeated foe. "Are you enjoying torturing me, my brother?" he asks, his voice dripping with venom. He answers his own question with a twisted smile. "Yeah, I am very happy to do that." Then he delivers the final, soul-crushing blow. "After all, had it not been for you, my sister would not have died." And we see a final haunting image of the woman he loved, falling into eternal darkness. Ball looks down at the mess on the floor, completely unbothered. "You came all the way to my city and blocked the gate. I thought it was something important. But it turns out you just wanted to kill me, didn't you?" he scoffs, asking if this whole malicious banquet was a sham. Moat just stands there, but Ball has had enough of this game. "Stop," he warns. A massive blade materializes in his hand as he growls, "Don't come any closer." But suddenly, a small fry jumps in to protect Mott. The kid, a marquis named Fornius, screeches, "Get away from Lord Mott." Bal gives him the most unimpressed side-eye in the history of the underworld. "Young man," the kid tries to unleash some kind of power, his eyes glowing with pathetic effort. But Bal deflects it with a casual flick, not even breaking a sweat. And of course, the peanut gallery has arrived, as a pink-haired bunny demon pops in to watch the drama unfold. Bal gives the kid a swift kick for his troubles. "So this is the kind of child you've taken under your wing?" he taunts Mott. The bunny demon quickly clarifies their allegiance, chirping that they're loyal to the demon castle, not little Bale. They explain they only came because Mott wanted to discuss something. Finally getting to the point, Ball demands to know why Mott summoned him here. He stands there, radiating pure impatience. Moat pulls a vanishing act, only to reappear sitting calmly in a chair, like the smug villain he is. Bale calls him out immediately. "Baith is in charge of the book hall. You threatened to destroy her information. What do you want?" Moat's face twists as he explains that the book hall is the heart of Devildom, the very place their treaty with heaven was forged. He absolutely explodes, screaming, "How could you let thieves break in and steal everything?" His rage hits a fever pitch as he snarls, "How dare you still mention her to me now?" He throws a full-blown tantrum, sending priceless documents flying everywhere. Bal just watches, his cold red eyes betraying nothing. Moat shoves a damaged file in his face. "Take a good look at what happened to my sister's profile while you were gone." The accusation triggers a horrifying memory of a woman with long black hair, shattering into pieces right in his arms. The pain and fury from that moment flood back into his eyes. A dark, corrupting energy begins to pour out of him. "Who is it?" he seethes, while Mott demands an answer. "Answer me, who is it?" But Bale is completely lost in his own spiraling agony. Moat says a single name that cuts through the chaos. "Molly." He repeats it, making sure Ball hears. "Molly." Ball snaps out of his trance, confused. "Huh?" "Yes, it's him," Mott confirms, and the final puzzle piece clicks into place. Ball is hit with a psychic assault of information soul fragments, contracts, the immortal witch, it's all connected. The dark energy consumes him as he trembles, unable to handle the truth. His mind races. How does he know about my sister? Why did he do that? He turns his burning rage on Mott. He works for you, doesn't he? What is going on? Losing all control, he lunges forward to tear Mott apart. But Mott was prepared. Magical chains erupt from the floor, ensnaring Bal in an instant. With our boy completely restrained, Mott looks down at him coldly. "So, now we can discuss this." The absolute savagery. He clenches his fist, ordering the out-of-control demon lord to calm down. Bal struggles against his bonds as a massive sealing circle activates above him. His consciousness is thrown into a dark, empty void. Where am I? He's just a child again, a scared little thing wondering if he's about to disappear forever. But a gentle voice cuts through the darkness. "Hello, little cutie." A mysterious man with long, dark hair appears before his small, fragile form. The man smiles, holding the tiny creature. "You're a cutie now, but you'll be even cuter when you're an adult." He shows the child a vision of his handsome future self. "It is really cute," the man coos, completely charmed. The vision fades, leaving the memory of a small, red-eyed child staring up in wonder. Back in the present, Mott looks at the creature on his desk. "How can I rest assured when you're like this?" His voice is filled with a strange mix of frustration and sorrow. "You blamed it all on yourself. You took all the responsibility for Devildom alone." His eyes soften with a deep, painful memory. "And you fell in love with him." A flashback reveals the truth. Bal and the mysterious man from his memories were lovers. Moat looks away, burdened by a story we're only just beginning to understand. Under the ominous red moon, our story takes a dark turn. Moat confronts the little stray his sister brought home, demanding to know if he even understands basic magic. The little guy is utterly clueless. Moat grumbles to himself, wondering why his sister would bring home such an idiot. But since he's been ordered to take care of him, he gets a wicked glint in his eye, deciding to take good care of him indeed. And by take care of, he means throwing him straight into a bathtub. The bath that follows is pure chaos, with Moat scrubbing the poor kid like he's a dirty floor mat. The torture continues as he roughly shoves him into some clothes, yelling at him to try harder. All the while our girl watches there, training from a distance, completely unbothered. But look at that, the little guy actually manages to conjure a beautiful magic rose, looking so proud of himself. Moat, however, is the definition of unimpressed. Still, the little demon decides this guy isn't so bad after all. And just like that, 10 years fly by. Moat is all grown up now, a fine young man. Bal, our little red-haired demon, remembers how Mott was eyeing the snacks earlier. He knows Mott is always too thrifty to treat himself, so he decides to get him a little something as a reward for his progress. Meanwhile, Mott is heading off to invite his dear sister for afternoon tea. But he walks in on a scene that shatters his world. His sister and Bal are locked in a passionate, fiery kiss. Oh, the betrayal. It is a full-blown makeout session, leaving nothing to the imagination. Moat freezes in the doorway, his eyes wide with shock and horror. Our girl hears a noise and pulls away, startled. She starts to say Mott's name, but Bal silences her with another demanding kiss. He's not letting anyone interrupt their moment. Don't mention others, he growls, before declaring the feeding is over and she's had her reward. She just gives a smug little smile, clearly enjoying his possessiveness. She tells Bal they should go back before Mutt misunderstands them. Girl, it is way too late for that. They leave the room together, and the door shuts on a devastated Mott. The box of snacks he was holding falls to the floor, ruined, just like his poor heart. Later she finds him locked in his room, pleading for him to come out. Don't lock yourself up, she begs. We are family, we can talk about it, but he just huddles behind the door, broken. Peeking from under his blanket, he thinks he has nothing to say. The image of their kiss is burned into his mind. She finally walks away, leaving the dropped snacks and his broken heart on the floor. She looks back, pained to see him this way, and whispers for him not to make her worry. The silence of the mansion feels deafening. She finds him in his room and brings him a plate of food. He finally breaks his silence, asking what the relationship is between her and Bal. She explains that Bal was weak, so she was feeding him. His mind immediately jumps to the worst conclusion. Mouth to mouth? She clarifies that Bal's condition is unstable, and he needs her blood to consolidate his foundation, or he could be gone at any moment. But Mott just doesn't understand. He's spiraling, thinking about how they've been together for so long. Yet she kept this from him. He feels like ever since Bale arrived she's had less and less time for him, that he's been completely isolated by them. He tries to deny it, to tell himself she wouldn't do that to him. Do you really want to know? She asks softly. She drops a bombshell. She's known Bale for a very, very long time. And we're thrown into a flashback. Our girl finds a tiny, feral-looking demon child cowering amongst bones. The little demon just repeats her words, asking if he's cute. She's immediately smitten, thinking he's even more lovely when he speaks. She asks him to come with her, deciding on the spot to take him home since she's alone. He doesn't understand, just mindlessly repeating her words. A quick demonology lesson. Inferior demons are born from raw emotions, and it takes them hundreds of years to even form a shape. This smart-looking little demon in front of her is just a baby, simply mimicking what he hears. But she can't just leave him. She's tired of taking care of old guys anyway. And no one is going to stop her from getting a new pet. You're mine from now on, she declares, a spark of possession in her eyes. She makes a pact, cutting her own wrist. She forms her blood into a small glowing bead and commands him, eat it. He obeys without question, sealing their bond forever. The library is supposed to be a quiet place, but not when our girl is involved. Suddenly, an unwelcome guest arrives with his goons, calling out to Miss Witch. She looks down, clearly unamused by the interruption. She quickly shoos her little pet Bal away, telling him to go back to his room. With a graceful float, she lands before the old demon. He immediately points to Bal, asking if he's the pet she was talking about. Our girl gives him a look that could curdle milk and snaps back. Yes, so what? The old man slams his cane down, furious that she's breaking their agreement by not being alone, and whips out a sword from his cane. He demands an explanation, but she just mocks him, asking if he's scared she'll build an army to take him down. The tension is so thick you could cut it with his cane sword. But our girl just laughs in his face. She says she'd rather see them all grovel at her feet than waste her time ruling the devildom. Oof, savage. The old geezer is absolutely speechless. She turns her back on him, dismissing him completely as he seethes, calling her an arrogant witch. He mutters that she's just an immortal living in peace, that Solomon's warnings were probably overblown. He scoffs that she can't possibly hurt him, but just as he thinks it, a burst of fire erupts from his own weapon. An explosion sends him flying back. Meanwhile, Bal is walking away, thinking the man was weird, and asks if his sister is okay. He peeks back through the door, and his eyes go wide with absolute shock, because our girl is unleashing a hellstorm of demonic energy right at the old man. Seeing her in danger, Bal doesn't hesitate for a second, and throws himself in front of her. He lets out a primal roar, transforming into a massive shadow dragon to shield her from the blast. The elder is stunned, screaming that she trained a pet into a giant dragon. He orders his men to attack, but our girl tells Bale to let go. She's completely engulfed by his protective shadow form. The old man loses it, calling Bale a despicable lowly demon for daring to touch an aristocrat. He screams, "Kill him," and his guards move in. They strike with swords of pure light. Blood splatters across our girl's face, her eyes wide with horror. Bal's protective form vanishes, and he collapses to the ground, whispering her name. The shock is paralyzing. The old demon, satisfied with the carnage, just scoffs and tells his men to leave. He thinks he's taught them a lesson they won't forget. But his goons suddenly freeze in their tracks. They're being torn apart by an unseen force, and the old man feels his body seize up. A dark tendril whips past his face. It's our girl, and she looks absolutely terrifying. She leans in close, her voice a venomous whisper. Do you really think you can leave unharmed after hurting my cutie? The pure, unadulterated terror in his eyes says it all. The library fills with his agonizing screams. Later, we learn this old fool's family was already cursed by a witch generations ago. A curse of misery for him and all his descendants. His granddaughter was abducted by a one-eyed demon, and after being rescued, she gave birth to a child that was neither human nor demon. She died from the ordeal, and the elder himself died of a broken heart. His only son vanished, and the once great family crumbled into nothing, all because of that ancient curse. Back in the present, Baal is on the floor, sobbing in a pool of his own blood. Our girl's dark energy swirls around her as she kneels down to him. He looks up, just thankful that she's all right, even as he's dying. And in that moment, surrounded by darkness and destruction, something inside her shifts. She had only ever wanted a pet to feel more complete, to understand the emotions she couldn't grasp. Sadness, happiness, regret, they were all foreign concepts to her. But now, looking at the boy who sacrificed himself for her, she finally understands. A single tear falls as she whispers, "Silly boy." She realizes this is all her fault. Racked with guilt, she takes his fading soul back to the dead land. She apologizes for twisting his fate and with a heavy heart tells him to embrace a new future. She erases his memories and returns him to his original form, a small soul meant to heal in nature. Decades pass. From the desolate lands, a figure finally emerges. It's Baal, all grown up. At a demonic auction, our girl watches as slaves are presented in cages. She's just observing, completely detached from the scene, until her eyes lock on a new cage being brought out. Inside is a handsome man with familiar crimson hair. Their eyes meet across the crowd, and a single forgotten word escapes his lips. Sister. Our girl vaguely explains that something went down, but Baal is having none of it. He immediately scolds her, saying the excessive intervention has damaged Mott's growth, and then he drops this bomb. You shouldn't have helped him with your mouth. She tries to explain it was because of him, Baal, but this just sends Mott spiraling. He completely loses it, screaming, "He asked you to do so." He grabs her, his mind clearly racing a mile a minute while he clutches his pants in pure, unadulterated angst. In a fit of chaotic passion, he shoves her down on the bed. He hovers over her for a split second, before crashing his lips against hers in a desperate, messy kiss. This is not a gentle choo-choo moment, people. This is a full-on emotional breakdown in the form of a kiss. But just as quickly as it started, he pulls back, his eyes wide with horror at his own actions. His claws are out, and he looks like a startled animal. Our girl, sprawled on the bed, can only whisper his name. Mott pants, completely horrified, and bolts out of the room, screaming, "I'm sorry." Our poor heroine is left sitting there in stunned silence, trying to process the absolute whirlwind of emotions that just hit her. Later that night, the mansion is quiet. But the drama is far from over. Our girl finds herself reminiscing, thinking about how long she's known Baal, while Mott is tormented by nightmares of her pushing him away. He remembers a time when she hugged him, telling him he made her happy. But his memory twists it into a nightmare where he shoves her away in disgust, calling their intimacy sickening. This internal conflict boils over when he runs into Baal in the hallway. Baal warns him to stay away from her, but Mott snaps. He grabs Baal by the collar, screaming that he knows nothing. Baal, ever the cool cucumber, just taunts him for flexing. Mott is completely unhinged, yelling that it was always supposed to be him and her, that she only had him before Baal showed up. The two are locked in a furious standoff, with Mott blaming Baal for ruining everything. But Baal delivers a savage blow, coolly stating, "I met her first. You're just a pet to her." Mott roars back that she's the one who gave him everything, but Baal just scoffs, calling it a loser's shouting. Mott grabs him again, his voice cracking as he declares, "She's mine." A dark energy suddenly flares from his hand as he snarls that his relationship with her is none of Baal's business. The power surge catches Baal off guard, and his mind immediately goes to the worst-case scenario. Have they? He realizes Mott's power is far beyond normal, and the green-eyed monster rears its ugly head. Does she really favor him so much? Finally spent, Mott lets go. "Fine, I'm out." Baal gives him one last warning not to bother her again, as Mott stalks away down the empty corridor. But he's not alone. A small voice calls out to him, and he turns to find the little red-horned demon from before, who asks why he's being followed. Mott looks thoroughly unimpressed. Mo confronts his little stalker, asking if they're trying to steal something. The little demon looks terrified, as Mo grabs their face, accusing them of trying to use him to get to our girl. The demon pleads to be allowed to follow him, revealing that Mo is a succubus. A fact that seems to surprise them, as Mott glances back at the mansion. The demon makes a desperate offer. "I can turn into a girl," and with a wiggle of their tail, they transform into a long-haired beauty. But Mott is having none of it. "I'm not interested in a kid," she begs, promising she'll grow up soon and do anything he wants, pleading that she has no home to go back to. Her words trigger a memory of our girl saying something similar, and Mott asks about her family. "They're all dead," she says plainly. A dark, chilling smile spreads across Mott's face. "Hey, let me be your family then." Yikes, this has taken a creepy turn. From a window high above, Baal watches them leave together. He returns to our girl's room, telling her that Mott has gone. She immediately blames herself. But Ball is quick to comfort her, telling her she did nothing wrong. He calls her sister, before pushing her onto the bed and leaning in for a kiss. And just like that, they're wrapped up in each other, picking up right where they left off. She looks up at him, breathless, as he moves over her. He asks if she wants him to continue, calling her a hypocrite when she hesitates. Her hand reaches for him, and she whispers a quiet yes. They fall into a passionate embrace, but as things get heated, something feels off. She cries out his name, but then yelps in pain. He asks what's wrong, casually remarking that she overreacted before licking her ear, which is just a choice. She tries to push him away, whispering no, her face filled with regret. It's not proper for us to do this, she cries. Afterwards, as they lie in bed, she drops the ultimate bombshell. Ball, we can't do this anymore. He's barely listening, so she clarifies. I mean, we should end our relationship let the past stay in the past. That gets his attention. His eyes fly open. What did you just say? He sits up, completely stunned as she tells him they were wrong. He can't believe it, pleading, you told me this is for love, don't you love me? His mind immediately jumps to the worst conclusion. Is it because of Mott? You've been weird since that guy left. She tries to be gentle, telling him she does like him, but then she delivers the final soul-crushing blow. But it's not love. She explains it's family love, which has absolutely nothing to do with desire. He's shattered, insisting she's just misunderstood her own feelings. He grabs her, placing her hand on his frantically beating heart. Can't you feel that? With tears in his eyes, he begs, you taught me to love, don't you have any feelings for me? She can't even look at him, broken and desperate. Ball makes a terrible choice. He pins her down again. She screams for him to stop, but he forces himself on her, demanding she explain her feelings if she doesn't like this. All she can do is cry out his name, as she sobs uncontrollably. The weight of his actions crushes Bale, and our heroine is left with a single devastating thought. This is a punishment for my greed. After the incident, from the night before, our girl's brother Bale comes knocking. Or rather, he just barges right in, carrying a tray of water like the world's most awkward room service. He sheepishly tells her to just forget everything he said yesterday. I was impulsive, he says, apologizing and promising it'll never happen again. He begs her to at least drink something. But our poor girl just trembles under the covers, completely unresponsive. He tries one last time, looking genuinely regretful. As he leaves, our girl sits up, the betrayal and hurt clear on her face. A single tear escapes as the fragile peace between them shatters. From that day forward, they lived as brother and sister, but the emotional distance was a canyon between them. Something precious had been lost forever. Flash forward 10 years later, and things have gotten weird. A servant announces a visitor for Lord Mott, who is currently indisposed. The servant insists it's important, but Moat just smashes his glass in annoyance. The poor guy tries to flee, but Mott has other plans. No, you come here, he commands. And his lady of the evening is all too happy to invite him to their party. The servant Molly looks absolutely mortified. But Mott insists he doesn't need to change into his female form. Molly is shook. You mean you want me to use my own body? Moat just smirks, telling him to get on with it. And so, with a tear of his shirt, Molly joins the chaotic scene. This is one twisted way to get a promotion. But Molly is thinking, does this mean I'm getting closer to him? He leans in for a kiss, his heart set on his master. He's convinced that eventually, it'll just be the two of them. And he makes sure of it by removing the competition permanently. Standing over her body, Molly looks like a demon straight from hell. His obsession is terrifying. Sooner or later, you'll fall in love with me. Sometime later, the mansion is buzzing with gossip. Lord Mott is getting married. The maids whisper that the new bride looks suspiciously like that guy, with black hair. Molly overhears them and is not pleased. He storms down the hall to see for himself. He bursts into the room and stops dead in his tracks. It's the witch, our girl from all those years ago, and she is serving pure villainous energy. From now on, I'll be the hostess here, she declares, establishing her dominance immediately. She stops him from serving Mott, splashing the wine and saying it's not for him. Molly is stunned speechless. And then, in a flash, she lunges forward and stabs him. At least that's what it looks like. But it's a memory of Molly stabbing himself to frame her. Moat's voice echoes, I thought you gave up. Molly just grins, bloodied but triumphant. No. See, Mott's fiancé is dead, and he thinks she did it. How will you make it up to me? Mott asks, his voice dangerously low. He pours wine over Molly's head in a power move, but Molly is into it. He transforms, offering himself up completely. I'll take the place of her. And just like that, the manipulative servant gets what he always wanted. For a while, he was always by Mott's side. But back in the present, Mott is screaming his name. He's trapped behind a magical barrier Molly created, and he is absolutely losing it. Molly watches from the other side, his heart breaking. Lord Mott, he pleads. But Mott is having none of it. Remove the enchantment. Am I not good enough for you? Molly cries. Why are you so obsessed with that woman? That's the wrong thing to say. Mott remembers hearing whispers from the servants that the immortal witch was under attack and wasn't going to make it. The realization that Molly kept this from him sends him into a rage. He shatters the barrier with pure fury. I asked you to tell me everything about the witch, he roars. He lunges forward, grabbing Molly by the throat. I don't want it to happen again, he seethes, his eyes glowing with menace before throwing him out. Molly lies on the floor, broken and discarded, but the despair quickly turns into a twisted smile. The immortal witch. I'll replace you one day. With his resolve hardened, he takes to the rooftops. He quickly spots his target in the moonlight. I found you, he purrs, looking down at the beaten but defiant witch. Our girl looks up, ready for the fight of her life. The library is in chaos, books flying everywhere as a painful memory surfaces. Metatron hangs his head in shame as his brother questions what happened between him and the demon. The memory is a nightmare, the demon arriving to find Metatron holding his sister's disembodied head. He remembers his own agonizing cries, insisting it was his fault, that he failed to protect her. The guilt was so overwhelming he lashed out, blaming his own naivety for the tragedy. He collapses, consumed by regret, believing if he had just been home, none of this would have happened. Staring at the little black blob that was once his friend Molly, he accepts the burden of responsibility. Tears stream down his face as he laments the rash decisions that led to this disaster. It was his own bad romance that dragged everyone into this mess, and he finally admits his fault. He whispers a final gut-wrenching apology to the blob. It's a confession montage of sorrow, remembering all the people he's hurt along the way. He was too cowardly to say any of this to the demon's face. So he confesses everything to the unconscious blob, knowing they won't remember a thing. With his heart unburdened, he calls for his attendant, Citri. The cheerful pink-haired bunny boy appears instantly. Metatron hands over the precious cargo, ordering Citri to take care of him until he recovers. Citri asks what Metatron will do now. He's heading to the human world to restore the data, leaving his emotional baggage behind. Citri just watches him go, figuring it's best to let him sort out his own chaotic feelings. He turns to the blob with a grin, ready for some fun. But the blob is not in the mood. Suddenly, Citri is screaming his head off. The blob has recovered, and Citri is calling them both psychos. The blob has transformed into an angry little black bunny, trapped in a cage and fuming. Citri calms down, realizing the bunny is just too embarrassed to change back to his real form, especially after his brother's cringy emotional confession. He prods a little, asking what emotional things Metatron said. The only response is a memory of Metatron's total breakdown. Citri tells him to just go back to his contractor instead of stewing in guilt. Besides, he has bigger news. Metatron has already gone to the human world. He tells the little bunny to stop obsessing over the dead and focus on the living. It's time to move on. Citri lays it out plain and simple. One person is dead, the other is alive and has changed for you. He asks, which one will you choose? But before he can answer, a new player enters the game. A demon appears in the human world, declaring it's none of Citri's business. And speak of the devil, we find our girl Molly, also known as Yarochu, cornered in an alley. The cocky orange-haired demon smirks, delighted to have found her so easily. Suddenly, her friends appear, swords drawn and ready to fight, but Blue Boy quickly realizes they're outmatched. These demons are immune to light magic. Our girl knows they're in deep trouble now. The demon reveals her contract with Suanen is over. Rochu tries to play dumb, claiming she's just an ordinary person who has a contract with Bao. The demon absolutely loses it, laughing hysterically at the idea of her being ordinary. He mocks her, asking if she's going to play the fool forever, and suddenly our girl screams in agony. She clutches a wound that has miraculously healed itself. He leans in, whispering that a wound will heal, but what he did to her wasn't a wound. She trembles, a strange heat spreading through her body. The demon reveals his master plan. It seems her own demon lord hasn't claimed her yet, which means the mark he secretly placed on her is still active. He grabs her, forcing her to remember the moment he marked her without her knowledge. The memories come flooding back, a touch she didn't understand at the time. He grins, proud that he managed to hide his little trick from the demon lord himself. Our girl is losing control, blushing and panting that she can't control herself. Her friends try to intervene but are immediately taken out by a giant fork. Yes, a giant fork. Overcome by the mark's power, she grabs the demon and pulls him into an embrace, but it's a double cross. A spear of light erupts from her back, impaling him straight through the chest. Blood sprays everywhere as she holds him close. With a savage smile, she whispers her true desire. I want you dead. The demon is stunned, unable to believe this turn of events. With a single word, our girl unleashes her ultimate move. Explode. A massive explosion of power rocks the entire area. Her little bunny retainers can only watch in horror. Ruachu collapses, wounded but victorious. A new voice congratulates her on her complete awakening. The orange demon is barely standing, a bloody and mangled mess, but he's alive. He spits blood, finally seeing her for what she is, a witch. Blue Boy, still pinned by a fork, vehemently denies it, insisting she's just an ordinary person. Our girl just smirks at his naivety. Just then, a mysterious woman with piercing red eyes appears, looking down at Ruochu's bleeding wound with concern. She calmly assesses the bloody situation. Our girl is in some kind of trance, and her inner demon is having a grand old time laughing at her shock. This all started about 8 hours ago, during a little power-up training session. Jack was trying to teach her how to feel and communicate with external energy. He explains that if she can just master this one simple trick, her skills will be off the charts. Our girl is immediately sold on the idea, imagining herself as a total badass. He tells her to close her eyes and concentrate, focusing on the feeling of her power. She opens her eyes. But she's not in the training room anymore. She's in a strange, white, watery void. A familiar voice calls out, "You're the witch." Our girl is so confused, wondering how she ended up back in her own subconscious. And of course, her inner demon, the original witch, is there to greet her with a smug look. She explains that she's trapped deep inside our girl's heart, and her skills are totally nerfed because of it. She leans in close, making a tantalizing offer. "If you want to get stronger, you have to free me." The witch shows our heroine just how miserable she is, bound like a prisoner within her own soul. She holds up a glowing key, explaining that only our girl, the owner of the body, can unlock the cage. She promises that if she's freed, both of their powers will skyrocket. Our girl, bless her simple heart, is immediately on board. She declares she's going to bust her out right now. Reaching out a hand, she says with pure sincerity, "You must have suffered a lot in there." The witch is completely taken aback by this kindness. After 17 years of being locked away, this is the last thing she expected. As our girl's hand gets closer, the witch remembers everything she's seen. She watched our girl grow up, get hurt, and slowly change. She's not the same timid person anymore. It's like she was completely reborn, shining with a light that was almost heavenly. A dazzling light that was once stained by blood. As their hands touch, a brilliant light flashes, and our girl wakes up back in the real world. She pops up from the floor, cheering. "I did it!" Jack is thrilled, but the witch appears beside him, ready to start some special training. Suddenly, our girl realizes Jack is gone and a voice screams at her to run. But it's too late. An energy blast sends Jack flying. Our poor girl can only scream his name as he's slammed through a window. She's thrown back by the force of the attack, crashing through the glass. Hovering outside is a new winged demon. The witch inside her head yells that they don't have time for practice. It's time to fight. But our girl is sent plummeting towards the ground. She lands hard, injured and panting, only to see another demon, a smug redhead, standing over her. He grins. "I found you, witch." The demon starts ranting, furious that she's playing dumb when she has the witch's power. But before he can attack, Jack's familiar whips out and grabs him. It smashes the demon into the ground to protect our girl. The demon is down but not out. Our girl is seething with rage, ready to go full psycho mode. She summons a storm of blood daggers, screaming that she'll tear him to pieces. Insane, her inner witch is freaking out, telling her she's lost too much blood. As if on cue, our girl coughs up a horrifying amount of it. The witch panics, but our heroine is still focused on getting to Jack. She knows her magic is fading fast, but then she spots a silhouette in the distance. The demon is confused, wondering why his boss hasn't shown up yet. Our girl tells the distant figure to dodge. She gets a savage grin on her face, realizing something crucial. "It seems only I can see you," she says to her inner witch, who confirms she's just a reflection. This changes everything. Our girl has a chaotic plan. "Just lend me your identity." She then puts on the performance of a lifetime, acting like the legendary immortal witch herself. The demon scoffs, saying he's not afraid of a mere human. He orders his catgirl subordinate to attack her, but the poor thing is frozen in fear. He screams at her again. Our girl, now fully channeling the witch's terrifying aura, taunts him. "Don't embarrass her. Even you don't dare to fight me yourself. I'm the legendary witch, am I right, kitten?" The catgirl trembles. The demon is absolutely livid. He powers up, his fist crackling with dark energy. The witch screams a warning as he unleashes a horrifying soul-sucking attack. He's panting from the effort, but promises to grant her an early death. Our girl just smirks, telling him his own injuries will kill him first. He completely loses it and screams at her to shut up. But just as he's about to strike, a brilliant white light fills the sky. An angel has arrived and the demon is shook. It's Metatron, a high-ranking angel, and he looks absolutely ethereal. He's even wearing a dapper white suit. The demon immediately calls for a retreat, but Metatron isn't letting them go that easily. He unleashes a blast of holy light, but it's not aimed at the demon. It hits the catgirl instead. She thinks she's about to be smited, but the angel swoops in and catches her, princess style. The demon is gone, but Metatron is satisfied, having captured the one he was after. He then spots our heroes hiding in the bushes. Our girl tries to play it cool, claiming she's just an innocent passerby, but the angel stares at her, and suddenly he's lost in a painful memory. A memory of a dark-haired man, and a broken promise. It's a dark and twisted moment from his past, one filled with sorrow and betrayal. He snaps out of it and gently takes our girl's hand, apologizing and calling her Miss Witch. She snatches her hand back, completely flustered. He introduces himself as Metatron, a seraph. Jack immediately recognizes the term, asking if he's from the church. Metatron gives him a look that could freeze hell over and tells him to be silent. Jack immediately clams up, clenching his fist. Metatron turns his attention back to our girl, wanting to continue their chat. She's suspicious, but he promises he's not her enemy. He explains that she's forgotten her importance to heaven. She tries to leave, but he has an idea. He offers to help her deal with the demons and protect her knight. The price? He gets to stay by her side as her protector. Meanwhile, the demon who escaped is having a meltdown. His tiny minion knows exactly what this means. Trouble. Our girl is caught, her hand held in an iron grip. She realizes she's completely outmatched. This guy is way too powerful for her to handle, and who is this pretty boy who just saved her? He leans in, asking with a smirk how she'll thank him. Oh, he's not asking. He's telling. He's appointing her as his bodyguard, and our girl knows this is a threat, plain and simple. This angel gets way too close for comfort, promising to protect her while he waits for her memory to return. Yeah, she's not buying it for a second. What a total psycho. Later, she warns her friend that the new guy Sha Ruochu is an angel, but not the good kind. He tells her not to worry, that he sees it too, but he can't shake the feeling that something terrible is about to happen. And he's right to be worried, because these seraphim are known for being extremely bigoted, willing to destroy the world for their own twisted beliefs. Suddenly, a single angelic feather drifts down and binds a poor catgirl maid who begs to be released. The angel calls her a poor thing, but his eyes are cold as ice. He accuses her of being tempted by a demon and declares he's going to send her to God. Yikes, that's code for something way more permanent. The terrified girl insists she was tempted by a succubus, but he isn't listening. He grabs her by the throat, his holy powers flaring. The poor girl chokes, unable to breathe as he prepares to end her. But our heroine isn't having it. She rushes in, yelling for him to wait and explaining the situation. The angel coldly states that a temptee can't survive without their tempter's care. To him, it's hopeless, but our girl isn't giving up. Declaring that she can save her, he scoffs, saying the old Miss Witch could have, but not her. Not anymore. He tightens his grip, and the catgirl gasps for air. She's crying, her life fading fast. That's the last straw. Our girl slaps his hand away, yelling at him to let her go. He looks genuinely stunned. And then, in the most chaotic move of the century, our girl grabs the catgirl and kisses her. The angel and her friend are absolutely floored, and honestly, she pulls back, explaining that her blood can cure people in dire situations. She refuses to let someone die right in front of her. Besides, this is a strategic move. She can get information about Molly through this girl. It's a wild plan, but it's worth a shot. The catgirl coughs, the healing magic already taking effect. Our girl gently asks if she's feeling all right. She looks a bit dazed, but the life is returning to her eyes. Blushing furiously, the catgirl stammers that she's fine. Our girl smiles, relieved it worked, while the catgirl's heart hammers in her chest. The holy binds around her shatter into dust. The angel watches this all unfold, a slow, interested smile spreading across his face. He looks at our girl with a newfound fascination. Wow, he says, genuinely impressed. Our girl claps back sarcastically. See? We can solve problems without murdering people. Look at you, saving a lost little kitten. The shade is real. He just laughs it off, thinking she's weird, and goes to check on the catgirl. She can't stand him, thinking that even the demon lord Baal is more normal than this chaotic angel. Her thoughts drift to Baal, wondering when he'll come back. But will he even come back? She knows his home is the devildom. It would make perfect sense if he never returned to the human world. Her hand goes to the bracelet he gave her. The thought leaves her feeling empty and sad. Her friend watches her, noticing her sudden change in mood. He can tell she's thinking about the demon who gave her that bracelet. He remembers overhearing a conversation where a little demon called it a love token, though our girl insisted it was just an amulet. But the little demon knew better. The one who gave her that bracelet must be incredibly important to her. Shaking off the memory, he turns to the now-healed catgirl. You're the succubus's subordinate, aren't you? He demands to know what she knows, but the angel interjects, saying they can't believe her. The catgirl panics, insisting that everything she said is true. I swear, she cries out. Our girl looks her dead in the eye and asks, can you prove it? The group is at a standstill, but then, our heroine gets a brilliant idea. She asks if there's a master-servant contract or some other binding spell they can use, just like in the comics she's read. The angel's interest is piqued. He summons a glowing halo of light. He presents the halo to the nervous catgirl. If you accept this, we'll believe you, he says. It's a magical lie detector test. Desperate to prove herself, she immediately agrees. The holy light washes over her. Her tail gives a little flick, and poof, she transforms into a small black cat. Our girl is just staring like, that's it? The angel smiles, explaining that she can now ask the cat for information about the enemy. He claps his hands together, declaring the situation resolved. The whole gang celebrates their victory, but our girl stops them dead in their tracks. Wait, are you going to live in my house too? He gives her a dazzling smile. Of course, it's my duty as your bodyguard to stay close. Her face says it all. She is so over this. He then pulls out the ultimate guilt trip, asking if she could really leave a pure and kind angel to fend for himself in the wild. Her friend sighs. As annoying as the angel is, he has a point. They'll be safer if he stays with them. And so the chaotic new housemates start walking home. Our girl follows behind, unable to shake the feeling that something is very, very wrong. Suddenly, a hand grabs her arm, pulling her into the shadows. A familiar voice whispers, Shai-Ru Ochu, be quiet and listen to me. It's the little red-haired demon. And she has a dire warning. Stay away from that angel. Our girl's demon companion admits she kind of remembers this angel, but not well. Still, her intuition is screaming that he's dangerous, and she warns our girl not to have any further contact with him. But our heroine is having none of it, insisting she has her own judgment. Thank you very much. Realizing she can't win this argument, the demon decides on a drastic measure. To avoid being found by the angel, she'll just temporarily seal herself to sleep, but not before giving one last warning to be careful. Our girl just looks annoyed by the whole situation. Meanwhile, as she and the blue-haired boy head into the building, they're being watched. From the bushes, a tiny one-eyed demon spy pops out, wondering what to do. He managed to sneak into the human world using Lord Baal's conveyor pattern, but he's shocked to find two men with the girl who carries his master's scent. She's his only clue to finding Baal. The problem is, she's surrounded by a knight of light and a seraph. How is one tiny demon supposed to infiltrate the troop of light? Back in the Devildom, a certain red-headed demon is having a full-blown panic attack about the succubus problem. Just then, the little spy zips in, and the demon lord immediately asks for an update on Baal and the girl. The spy looks absolutely horrified, trying to find the words to explain the chaotic situation. He just blurts it out. "Lord Baal, you've been cuckolded. She brought two men into her house, and Lord Baal is nowhere to be seen." The other spies are absolutely scandalized. How dare she cheat on the demon lord? The little guy's imagination runs wild, picturing our girl with her own personal reverse harem. And what's worse, she's not even picky. He cackles to himself, thinking enjoy being cuckolded, Baal. The red-headed demon has an epiphany. "Oh my devil," he whispers, finally understanding why Baal has stayed single for centuries. It turns out he has a secret hobby, so seeing a playboy Baal isn't so strange after all. He quickly snaps out of it, realizing now is not the time to be distracted by his master's fashion choices. The spy, however, is still on a mission. He decides to hang around and try to get our girl alone, which means getting rid of that pesky angel. But his stealth mission is a total failure when a random human spots him. The spy freaks out, realizing he's been discovered. While the human just screams, "A bat!" the guy runs for his life, shrieking in terror, dropping his face mask in his panic. This gives the little demon a brilliant, if not terrible, idea. A few moments later, the spy is ready to go in his perfect human disguise. Of course, he's immediately stopped by the very same guy who just ran from him. "What are you doing here so late at night?" the man demands. The spy nervously explains he's from the Devildom and looking for the demon lord. "Yeah, that's not suspicious at all." The guy deadpans. "I have to take you back to the police station. You look suspicious." Well, that plan failed spectacularly. Back in the apartment, Metatron is absolutely loving our girl's place. She tells him to wait while she cleans a room for him, and the blue-haired knight starts pouring water for Baal in his cat form. Metatron is already making himself at home, asking if she can make dinner too. He is way too excited about the prospect of free meals, and the knight is clearly not amused. He's so distracted by the freeloading angel that he overflows the cat's water bowl. Metatron, meanwhile, sits on the couch, lost in a memory from hundreds of years ago in heaven. He recalls a blue flame shattering a glass prison. A soul was returning, and his face lit up with pure, unadulterated joy. He flew to a desolate wasteland under a blood-red moon, ecstatic because he knew his friend wouldn't leave him behind. He cries out a name, Solomon, and there he is, the one he's been waiting for. Metatron is overwhelmed with happiness. The memory fades, and back in the present, he asks the knight, "Do you like her?" After a bit of verbal sparring, Metatron goes for the kill shot. "Don't you see that she's not into you?" The knight mutters that it doesn't matter, and Metatron calls him naive. Then he drops the bomb. "Do you know who she is?" he asks. "She's Solomon." The knight is so stunned he drops the knife with a loud clang, while Metatron just smirks, enjoying the chaos. The knight can't believe it. "Solomon? The one in charge of 72 spirits?" "That's right," Metatron confirms. The knight completely loses his cool, yelling that it's impossible, that she's just an ordinary girl who signed a contract with the demon lord. Metatron's smile is ice cold. Then who's which? He then tells the story of how Solomon was supposed to go to heaven, but was bewitched by the demon and chose to leave. In another flashback, Metatron confronts Solomon, begging him not to go. But Solomon insists he can't leave the humans behind. He has to go back. Metatron becomes enraged, accusing Solomon of betraying God. "Only I can let you go to heaven," he screams. "Those humans don't deserve your care." But as he pleads, he's cut off. A demon appears, coolly stating, "He signed a contract with me." He dismisses Metatron, telling Solomon to go. Metatron can only watch, defeated, as Solomon walks away with the demon, leaving him all alone at the gates of heaven. That moment of loss is seared into his mind. In the present, Metatron is trembling with grief. "I failed to protect him," he cries. The knight can only think, "Dude, how old is this angel?" Metatron clutches his chest, wailing that if Solomon hadn't fallen, he wouldn't have been reincarnated as the witch. We see a vision of our girl, sick and coughing up blood, her hands stained red. She looks so fragile. Metatron's voice echoes, promising her that she'll soon be free and live in a new body he's prepared for her. Okay, that's officially creepy. He explains that when he finally found her reincarnation, he was horrified. The knight puts the pieces together, his eyes wide with shock. "She's been reincarnated as a human?" The angel declares that our girl is now a daughter of God. Apparently, she was bewitched and degenerated by the demon world, and has been suffering at the hands of a demon named Baal. He shows Jack a vision of our poor heroine, falling into the clutches of a terrifying red-eyed monster. "We should protect her," the angel insists, "and help her go back to God." But then he drops the bomb, warning Jack not to harbor any romantic feelings for her. As a member of the church, he says, Jack's only duty is to assist in taking her back to heaven. This is your honor, he proclaims. God will reward you. But Jack looks absolutely devastated by this command. Suddenly, a panic scream echoes through the house. It's our girl, bursting out of her room and yelling for Jack, looking completely terrified. She's just had a horrible flashback. Jack immediately worries. She hasn't recovered yet. He rushes to her side, asking if she's in pain and offering a healing spell. But she grabs him, shouting, "No, listen to me." She frantically explains that she just remembered the green-haired guy. Jack and the angel are completely lost. You know, the green-haired fashion man. Our girl is in full-on panic mode, realizing she completely forgot to bring him back with them. She frets that he might die outside and asks if they should go get him. Jack is just stunned by her chaotic energy. The angel, however, is touched. "What a kind girl," he swoons. "You're even willing to save your enemy." But our girl snaps back. "He's my classmate. If he dies downstairs, I'll be the most likely suspect." She's having a total meltdown, remembering how she was already accused of killing his girlfriend. "If he dies near her house now, even God can't save me." Jack, ever the strategist, smirks and says they probably don't need to get him, since he won't die that easily. Our girl's eyes light up. "It makes sense," she exclaims, before suggesting they just kill him and destroy all the evidence. Jack is horrified. No, that's not what I mean." "What do you mean?" After a quick, chaotic discussion, our girl decides she'll go get him herself and tells Jack to stay and make dinner. He just gives her a sweet smile and a wave. The angel watches her go, intrigued. "She always surprises me." Jack agrees, a soft look on his face. "She's special to me." The angel sees his opening and presses again. "Will you help me protect her and take her back to heaven?" Jack's expression hardens. "Yes," he says, "I'll help you." The angel smiles, thinking he's won. But Jack isn't finished. "I promise that I'll protect her," he says with steel in his voice. "But it's up to her if she'll go back to heaven." Mic drop. The angel is speechless. Jack calmly goes back to cooking, laying down the law. A knight's duty is to protect people, not make decisions for them. This man is a king. He serves the food. But the angel is now in a full-on pout. "Ah, that's boring," he huffs. He dramatically throws himself onto the sofa. "I thought I would be able to relax when I got a helper. At last, I still have to do it myself." But then a devious glint appears in his eye. He'll just have to carry out his, and he's sure it'll work. The next thing Jack knows, the all-powerful seraph has changed into adorable bunny pajamas. Jack can only stare, thinking this ancient being is acting way too young. The angel smirks, having read his mind. "You think that I'm old, but I'm acting young, don't you?" Jack is completely shook. The angel reminds him that a seraph can read minds, and calls him a naive little knight. As Jack puts a glass of water down, the angel suddenly grabs his wrist. Jack freezes. "I'm warning you," the angel whispers. "Don't hold me back." He leans in, caressing Jack's cheek. "Mr. Knight." Meanwhile, our heroine is searching in the dark. She finally spots him passed out in the bushes. She struggles to pull him up, telling him not to die on her. She's surprised by how light he is, and finds herself noticing his slim waist, and how handsome he is when he's not being an idiot. But she quickly shakes it off, reminding herself that he's a total scumbag, as she drags him away. A mysterious magical circle glows where he was lying. Suddenly, his eyes snap open. "Where am I?" he groans. The blue-haired boy returns, announcing he's back to a very pretty blonde lounging in a chair. The blonde smirks, asking about the classmate he brought home. Turns out our girl dragged an unconscious guy into the apartment, casually telling them, "Don't worry, he's still alive." The angel is completely unfazed, simply mentioning that knights and angels both work for God, so it's fine. But our girl isn't so sure. Her other companion is freaking out, worried this new guy might be working with their enemy, Jack. The angel, ever so helpful, offers to check on the boy, flexing his epic healing magic skills. Just then, the passed-out guy starts to stir, groaning that it's too noisy. He mumbles about where he is, remembering a beautiful lady from his dreams. A very developed lady with fiery red hair. He tries to remember what happened next, but his head just throbs in pain. He forces his eyes open, and the first thing he sees is our girl looking down at him. And right behind her, a literal glowing angel. The poor guy thinks he's died and gone to heaven before passing out again. Our girl tries shaking him awake while the angel calmly suggests they just let the boy rest. Meanwhile, under the pale moonlight, a mysterious figure has arrived. An elf-like man with sharp green hair followed a scent here. He was looking for someone named Molly, but she's not here. Instead, he saw a human who looks exactly like his sister, being carried by his brother. He grimaces, realizing an innocent human has gotten involved in their chaotic drama. He clenches his fist, wondering why his brother is so obsessed with a dead person. This whole situation is spiraling out of control. Suddenly, he hears a rustle in the bushes. He reaches out and pats the head of a red-haired boy hiding there. The boy is shocked. He immediately starts grilling the elf, accusing him of planning to usurp the throne and colluding with heaven. The elf just facepalms at his wild imagination. He explains he only locked the kid up to avoid trouble, because he's trying to find his stupid brother, the demon lord. The kid is aghast that he just insulted their leader. The elf is more concerned that his brother Baal has returned to the devildom. And a chilling realization dawns on him. Baal is here. In that very building, the pieces click into place with horrifying clarity. The woman who looks like his sister, Bal, was here. Molly was here. He trembles, clutching his head in denial. No, she's been dead for years. It's just as he feared. His brother is using some poor human girl as a substitute for his dead love. And he just left that vulnerable woman alone with him. Cut to our vulnerable woman, who's currently tormenting the poor sick boy so much he sneezes. The red-haired kid tells the elf he'd better change into normal clothes or risk getting arrested. 5 minutes later, the elf has swapped his fancy robes for a much more inconspicuous black hoodie. He decides to wait outside, knowing the angel is also in the apartment. He taunts the red-haired demon, asking if he's scared. The demon's eyes glow with power, declaring he'll go meet the woman himself and will not let the elf interfere with Lord Baal. The elf just smirks, challenging him to a fight, but the demon smugly reminds him he's cursed. That's enough to make the elf back down immediately. Forget it, he says. I can't take it. Back in the apartment, the green-haired boy is finally awake for real. Our girl is relieved, mostly because she doesn't want to get in trouble with the police. She gets right in his face, asking if he remembers her. He weakly whispers her name, Shahrukh, overjoyed that she's off the hook. She checks his temperature. He just stares at her, completely flustered, and thanks her for her help. But then he gets a full view of her, revealing outfit, and his face explodes in a blush. Before he can get any funny ideas, her cat Curdy launches itself at his face. Our girl pulls the demonic furball off him, apologizing that her cat is shy around strangers. The poor guy is dizzy and scratched up, mumbling that he thinks he saw an angel. And right on cue, the angel is sitting on the couch behind him, casually munching on a snack. Our girl starts sweating profusely, quickly making up a chaotic lie that the angel is her mixed-race relative and the blue-haired guy is her nanny. She tells the boy he's just hallucinating from high school stress. He seems to buy it, but then remarks that she's changed a lot. He remembers her as the quiet girl who used to be bullied relentlessly. But now she's confident and dazzling. With a heavy heart, he suddenly bows deeply. I owe you an apology, he says, for everything that happened in the past. She tries to brush it off, but he grabs her hand, insisting he was wrong. She sighs, telling him an apology doesn't change anything, but hopes he'll be more self-disciplined now. He promises not to bother her again and gets ready to leave. She walks him to the door, thinking that's the end of it. But when the door creaks open, standing on the other side is a devilishly handsome man with striking red hair. It's Baal, and our girl is frozen in shock. With his prize in hand, the demon lord Baal smirks, thinking he's the winner. But our girl has had enough of being manhandled, and in a flash, she grabs a nearby knife. Without a single moment of hesitation, she drives the blade right into her own hand to break his grip. She glares down at him, holding the bloody weapon, as he stares up in disbelief. The blood on his hand is hers, and the look in her eyes is pure ice. She's channeling the power of the immortal witch now, and Baal finally understands the terrifying truth: she can manipulate blood. She yanks the knife free, and uses her new power to turn their very contract into a blood-soaked warning. Baal is completely stunned, demanding to know what's going on. The smug demon lord now totally lost. She lays down the law. Their relationship is purely contractual, so he needs to keep his hands to himself because she has exams to worry about. She wonders what happened to the old Awara. Poor Baal was expecting a tearful, happy reunion, but the reality is a knife to the throat and a death glare. He's completely bewildered, asking what could have possibly happened while he was away. He even tries the kicked puppy look, but it's not working. He wonders if this is just some teenage rebellious phase, but the green-haired angel watching from the sideline says, it's not. Baal promises he won't leave again until their deal is done, and our girl just gives him a cold, dismissive, oh, she sighs, deciding to forgive him for the moment. He gestures to the weapon still in her hand, and she explains that a certain someone taught her some survival skills. She takes a seat, cool as a cucumber. Baal, ever the opportunist, is now curious about her powers, wondering if they came from drinking his blood. Internally, our girl is relieved, at least he's back and willing to fulfill the contract, which is more than she hoped for. Still, she can't shake the feeling that he also came back for the immortal witch, his so-called sister. Her thoughts are suddenly shattered when someone shouts her name, making her jump out of her skin. It's Baal, and he wants to know what she's going to do about Molly. The angel immediately offers his help, promising he can make her revenge wish come true. He looks absolutely serious about it too. But our girl is in her villainous era now. She wants revenge, but she's going to get it herself. To punctuate her point, she manifests a crown of lethal blood daggers, declaring she won't be relying on contracts or promises anymore. The angel is stunned, realizing her fierce determination reminds him of his own sister. He thinks this must be karma, and he's ready to pay for his brother's sins. But before he can speak, our girl pivots with chaotic speed, announcing, I've decided, I want to go to the beach. The two supernatural hotties can only stare, completely baffled by this turn of events. And so, against all odds, the revenge squad ends up on a summer vacation. Our girl is having a blast, while Baal is still trying to figure out how they went from a bloody standoff to a beach party in 24 hours. Just yesterday, things were so much more pointy. It all started with her random declaration. Baal couldn't see the connection between her revenge plot and a beach trip. But her logic was simple. He was gone for so long, she missed out on all the fun. While other girls were shopping, she was training. While they were singing karaoke, she was getting beat up. While they were tanning, she was also getting beat up. Okay, the girl deserves a break. Val actually looks a little guilty hearing her tragic tale. She points a finger right in his demonic face and tells him that since he left without permission, his new job is to be her personal caretaker. Her master plan is simple: relax first, get revenge later. With an angel and a demon lord as her bodyguards, what could possibly go wrong? It's finally time for our heroine to enjoy herself. Back in the present, Val narrates his misery. He tried to pick a remote beach, but it's swarming with people thanks to the pretty boy angel attracting a crowd, which at least keeps them away from his contractor. He confronts the angel, who sassily replies that if a demon can come, so can he. Bal tries to pull rank, reminding him he's just a lodger while Bal is the contractor. But the angel just smirks, leaning in to whisper, "Or maybe you just don't want me seeing her like this." And this is our girl looking absolutely stunning in a red bikini. Bal's eye twitches. Oh, he is definitely bothered. He sputters that she's just his contractor, then desperately changes the subject by yelling that she needs sunscreen for a sunburn. The angel just smirks, completely unconvinced by the terrible acting. Our girl, ever the powerhouse, thinks she'll just heal from it, but Bal insists she needs to take care of herself. When she complains she can't reach her back, he's all too quick to volunteer his services. She makes her way back to the umbrella. As he gently applies the lotion, she melts a little, thinking this is the first time anyone has ever been this kind to her. His hands move carefully over her skin, and she closes her eyes, enjoying the feeling of being pampered for once. But then, his hand slips just a little too low. Her eyes fly open, and his finger accidentally slides right under the strap of her bikini bottom. Whoops! The demon lord freezes, red as a tomato, as she turns to him with a very confused and flustered, Our girl snaps back to reality, her heart pounding in her chest. Wait, what just happened? Did the demon lord himself just casually touch her like that? She's spiraling, wondering if his hand really grazed that spot, or if she just imagined it. He was just applying sunscreen, right? But the feeling of his touch was absolutely indescribable. Bal, completely oblivious to her internal meltdown, tells her to relax. Then, with a casual spank, he smacks her lightly to get her to loosen up. Our poor heroine is about to short-circuit. She tries to convince herself it was nothing, that the great lord demon wouldn't be interested in a plain human like her. But then again, it's Bal. And if it's him, well, maybe it's not so unacceptable after all. Her mind races, wondering where his devilishly handsome hands will wander next. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Just as she's about to combust, he pulls away, announcing her back is finished. But oh no, he's not done. He leans in, his voice a low whisper, saying skincare is important for girls and they can't miss a single spot. Otherwise, you'll get sunburnt, he purrs, moving in way too close for this to be about sun protection. And then the absolute madman licks her air. Our girl is gone. He licks his fingers with a smirk, his eyes glinting with mischief. Yeah, this was never about sunscreen. And just like that, he's done, casually tossing her a towel like he didn't just set her entire nervous system on fire. Go and have fun, he says. The king of chaotic energy. She stumbles into the water, her brain completely fried. Is that it? After all that, he's just done? She scolds herself for getting her hopes up, screaming internally that it was just sunscreen. Then she realizes this out-of-control feeling is familiar. It must be that witch Molly's doing. While she's vowing revenge, Bal watches from the shore, utterly baffled by her behavior. He asks what's wrong, and she completely panics, yelling that she's just going for a swim before splashing away frantically. The great demon lord is so confused he actually considers buying a book on human psychology. Are all adolescent humans like this? He wonders, completely lost. Belphegor sips his drink nearby, thinking his brother is absolutely hopeless. Meanwhile, the other demons are just vibing, enjoying the peace and quiet. This vacation is almost relaxing. Metatron and the demon cat are sunbathing. The knight is building a sandcastle, and no one seems to be plotting world domination. The orange-haired demon sighs, realizing Lord Baal is too busy with his main affair to cause any trouble. What's a secretary to do when there's no chaos to manage? Back in the water, our girl is overthinking everything. If any other man had been that handsy, she'd assume he was into her. And let's be real, demon or not, Baal is a man who can cook, clean, tutor, and who is drop-dead gorgeous. She sighs, concluding he's basically the perfect boyfriend. Suddenly, a voice cuts through her thoughts. You're out. It's the succubus Molly, looking smug as ever. She tells our girl there's no need to hide from the angel. Our heroine is confused, looking back at Baal on the shore. Molly's eyes begin to glow ominously. She's casting something. Suddenly, our girl feels a surge of power. Boom. A massive tidal wave erupts from the ocean, shocking even Molly herself. Baal leaps to his feet, his face a mask of horror. He screams her name as the wave crashes down. The demon lord is furious. The knight tries to rush in, but Belphegor holds him back, warning him he'll only make it worse. The knight reluctantly agrees to evacuate the humans instead. Baal knows this isn't a natural phenomenon. With a powerful chant, he throws up a massive magic barrier, stopping the wave in its tracks. The ocean freezes in place. He can smell the lingering scent of a succubus, but there's no one else around. He finds our girl sputtering and gasping for air in the now calm water. He rushes towards her, calling her name. But when she looks up, her eyes are glowing with a terrifying red light. A storm of red energy daggers explodes from her body, flying in every direction. Is her power out of control? Ball cries, dodging the chaotic assault. Thorny vines made of pure energy wrap around her. This looks like a forced awakening. He knows she can't sustain this. He realizes her emotions must have triggered it, but what could have happened so suddenly? Then he sees it, a glowing, sinister mark on her lower back. Damn it! He scoops her into his arms. She struggles, but he holds her tight, ordering her not to move. From the beach, Belphegor diagnoses the problem. Someone has placed an imprint of desire on her, and it's clashing with her own power. He telepathically tells Bal he needs to use fusion magic to connect to her body and absorb the curse. But Bal isn't good at such delicate work. We've got no time left. Tell me what to do. He screams in desperation. Belphegor instructs him to guide the imprint into his own body, trace it to its source, and destroy it. He warns that one wrong move could activate the imprint, but he's on his way to help. As Belphegor takes to the sky, the knight watches in horror, asking what's happened to our girl. He and the demon cat sprint after them. Even the angel Metatron looks concerned. But one person is smiling. The orange-haired secretary sighs dramatically. So that's the end of my vacation. It seems he's got to go clean up a mess so his boss can continue his chaotic romance in peace. Don't blame me, Molly, he says with a grin. Looks like the succubus is about to have a very, very bad day. Let me go, our girl screams, pinned to the bed. But the fiery demon Bal isn't listening, demanding to know what she's doing. He yanks at her clothes, his hand hovering over the cursed mark on her stomach. A jolt of agonizing pain rips through her as he tries to dispel the curse. He pours his demonic energy into the glowing seal. But this thing is putting up a serious fight. He curses the succubus who did this, while our poor girl just sobs in pain. He's fuming, realizing his rival got to her first. And it's all that green-haired pretty boy's fault. Meanwhile, the seal is making her body burn up, causing another wave of agony to wash over her. He points to the mark, finally explaining what it is. It's a succubus's imprint of desire, and he's here to get rid of it. But our girl plays it tough, saying it's no big deal. She's even had it act up before, which sends Bale into a jealous rage. She claims she can handle it as long as the pain is worse than the other feeling. He completely loses it, yelling at her for not loving herself. He pins her down, ready to try again, but she just screams in pain. She shoves him away, saying he wasn't there for her before, and she can handle this alone. He grabs her, trying to keep her still. Don't move, he growls. It's almost ready. He focuses all his power on the seal, but she's not having it. In a moment of pure chaos, our girl whips out a dagger, ready to carve the damn thing out of her own skin. He grabs her wrist, screaming that it won't work. Why don't you listen to me? He roars, but she's dead set on doing this herself. I don't need other people's help, she cries out, her tough facade finally crumbling. Seeing her break down, Bal's expression softens, and she collapses into tears in his arms. He finally understands. She's not trying to push him away. She's just terrified of being weak and dependent. It reminds him of how she was when they first met, and how he told her to stop being a coward. She remembers those harsh words too, and it seems she took them a little too much to heart, seeing her so vulnerable, sobbing her heart out. He realizes she's just a kid who's been through too much. He gently holds her, his hand glowing over the mark. I know you're good, he says softly. Her eyes widen as he tells her, but now, you have me by your side. You can rely on me. You can trust me more. She completely breaks down, clinging to him. With a tiny possessive smile, he whispers, because I am your demon. And for a moment, everything is perfect. Of course, that's when the green-haired mood killer decides to make a dramatic entrance on the balcony, watching them silently. Bal ignores him, whispering reassurances to our weeping girl. He holds her close, ready to try removing the seal once more. But she's still scared. If I always depend on others, doesn't that make me useless? He shuts her up with a kiss, telling her that knowing when to ask for help is a strength, not a weakness. Pretending to be brave when you can't solve your own problems, he says, is just being stupid. Ouch, savage but effective. She gets all flustered by his preaching and his blunt words, looking away like a scolded kitten. Suddenly, a memory flashes in her mind of a long-haired man who looks just like him. My Bal, she thinks, a flicker of recognition in her eyes. Her eyes snap open with newfound determination. She grabs onto his shirt, refusing to let go. He smirks, pleased with her possessiveness. I can't let anyone else have what I want, he declares. He tells her not to rush things, because this cursed mark is a tricky one. There are no quick fixes, he says, but your effort will be paid off. He admits that even he can't remove the seal quickly, and tells her not to be nervous. But the seal flares up again, making her gasp, and even Bale seems to be in pain. He reaches for a spellbook, chanting an incantation. Our girl braces herself for the impact, as he channels the ancient magic. Meanwhile, outside, the green-haired demon and his friends are getting antsy. A blue-haired guy bursts in, frantically searching for Sha Rushu, but a smug blondie tells him to chill out. The blonde demon taunts Green Hair for failing to help her, calling him out for not upholding his end of their agreement. Unlike you, he smirks. I don't lock the stable door after the horse is stolen. Green Hair is confused, until a blast of energy from the bedroom alerts him that something is wrong. Back in the room, Bal is on the floor, his hand charred black. This isn't a succubus mark at all. It's an angel's seal. He clutches his arm, realizing this is the work of divine power from heaven itself. But this absolute madman gets back up, ready to go again. He tells her to just bear with the pain. But the second his hand makes contact, the holy power zaps him again, sending him flying. He stumbles, clutching his burnt arm while our girl watches in horror. Still, he won't give up. He explains the seal is blocking something, and they just need to break it. No hurry, he says with a smirk, much to her confusion. He explains his failed attempt just triggered the seal's other function, overwhelming desire. The mark on her stomach begins to glow, and he tells her she knows how to handle the early stages herself. He actually starts to walk away, planning to leave her to it. But our girl has other plans. She grabs his shirt, and with a blush staining her cheeks, she whispers, "I want you to help me." Bal is stunned into silence. But one look at her desperate face and he caves. He leans in close, his fingers tracing patterns on her skin, and a wave of pleasure shoots through her. He feels the energy shift, and his hand slips under her shirt. She's completely lost in the sensation, breathlessly calling out his name. He holds her tight, whispering that he's here for her. But the seal's power is too strong, and she looks at him with hungry eyes, demanding more. She pulls him into a desperate embrace, begging him to be rougher. He struggles for a second, trying to resist, before finally giving in to a passionate kiss. It's a storm of lust and desperation, a chaotic dance of pleasure and pain as the seal works its wicked magic. The energy between them crackles, pulling them deeper into the intoxicating haze. He leans in close, his hot breath on her neck, his arms snake around her waist, pulling her flush against him. He whispers her name, a low, dangerous rumble in his chest. Our girl is practically melting, stammering out a thank you. She's completely flustered, her heart doing the cha-cha in her chest. But wait, he's just tying up her hair? She admits it's way more convenient when someone helps. But playtime is over. Bal gets serious, asking what they're going to do about the imprint. She's more curious about the seal he just mentioned. A wicked little smile plays on his lips. "Now that you're done, you want to just leave like that?" he purrs, asking for a hand. Our girl is blushing to the tips of her ears, asking what kind of help he needs. He leans in close and says, "Help me, clean my hand which was stained by you." The absolute audacity of this man. But our girl isn't having it. She bites down hard on his finger. He howls in pain as she chomps away. Savage. She spits his finger out in disgust. Why didn't you just wash your hand?" He immediately changes the subject, reminding her that this is about getting rid of the imprint. He claims he was just influenced by the atmosphere. "Sure, Jan." He explains that the imprint of desire is growing roots inside her body. But those roots are tangled around a mysterious seal. This seal activates during the transfer process, and it's physically stopping him from reaching the roots. He asks if the angel did anything to her, but she doesn't think so. Bal suspects the seal is deeper than the imprint, but he's not sure if that pretty boy angel Metatron knows about it. Our girl is shocked. This is the first time she's seen the all-powerful Bal look so troubled. To think a simple seal could be such a huge problem for him. Suddenly, a voice echoes in her mind. It's the witch, revealing that she's a prisoner, sealed at the very bottom of Xia's heart. She's bound by glowing red threads, a sad prisoner in her own body. Xia can't believe it's possible, especially since Bal is certain the immortal witch died over 200 years ago. The witch's memories are hazy, but she recalls being a powerful figure in devildom. More importantly, she was extremely wary of Metatron. She had a gut feeling that the angel was dangerous. Her memory is incomplete, like a remnant soul, but she knows something about him. The gears in Xia's head are turning at lightning speed. Could it be that the witch's death was directly related to the angel? It all starts to make sense. The witch was too powerful to be killed outright, so she was just left in a mutilated, near-death state. And then, for some unknown reason, she was sealed inside our girl's body. This changes everything. Metatron's visit wasn't a coincidence. He was just doing a routine checkup on the seal, like a regular car overhaul. But that raises another question. Why would he offer to help find information on the witch? That blondie is more sus than a week-old sandwich. Bal snaps her out of it, promising he'll take care of the seal. He explains it's an angel's seal, designed specifically to protect something from demons. He points out that demons have seals too, but for their own purposes. Our girl asks the million-dollar question. Is the seal there to protect the witch? It seems so. Suddenly, Bal is throwing a demon school uniform at her. Before she can even process what's happening, he calls for someone to come in. The door creaks open, and another demon with cool green hair walks in. Bal introduces him as Mott, an expert on all things heaven. Mott, however, seems to be an expert on staring at our girl's legs, earning a fiery glare from Bal. Mott just laughs it off, saying he's kidding. He quickly gets down to business, asking her about the agreement she made with the angel. Our girl has no idea what he's talking about. Mott explains that an angel's agreement is basically a devil's contract, but way sneakier. Bal elaborates, a devil's contract always has a cost, a clear price to pay. The scales of exchange are always balanced. But angels only make agreements. They promise you the result you want, but they conveniently forget to mention the cost. They can fulfill the agreement without any consequence to the person who made it, which makes them seem super helpful. But Mott drops a bombshell. Most people who make agreements with angels end up dead. Bal pulls up a memory of her deal with Metatron. He offered to get rid of the succubus if she stayed by his side. On the surface, it seems harmless, but with angels, the devil is always in the details they leave out. Our girl is spiraling, trying to connect the dots. The angels seal some forgotten agreement, and the sudden mention of a witch. Her mind races. Could this all be related to the witch inside her? She confronts Metatron, the pretty boy angel. He knows about the witch, but he seems to have forgotten what a witch means to heaven. And what it means is public enemy number one. If that witch revives, it's going to be a celestial-level disaster for all angels. So Metatron helping her is basically treason against his own kind. Which means this so-called angel has his own shady agenda. Back with her demon boy, our girl tries to process everything. She lets out a nervous laugh. Great, as if one crazy succubus wasn't enough. Now she has to worry about Metatron and the entirety of heaven. The universe really needs to give her a break. Ball moves closer, his expression serious. He cuts straight to the point, asking how much she really knows about the witch. And then he drops a bombshell. He met someone claiming to be the immortal witch, and he has every reason to believe a fragment of that witch is sealed right inside our girl. Suddenly, we're with the green-haired demon brother, who starts spilling some ancient tea. Adopted sister. Wait, what? The witch adopted them. He reveals she was a being so powerful she terrified all demons. Her soul was supposedly destroyed, but then how did our girl see her? He asks if she's ever heard of the 3 immortal souls and 7 mortal forms. Baal explains that everyone was terrified of the witch, but they also craved her immense power. And somewhere, somehow, someone managed to preserve a part of her. He gently touches her hair, the weight of this revelation hanging between them. So, he asks, his gaze intense, what do you want to do now? Our girl's expression hardens. It's not just Molly anymore. Heaven and the demon world are both involved. The 2 brothers watch her, waiting. The future is a chaotic mess, and none of them know what's coming. The tension in the room is so thick you could cut it with a demonic blade. Our girl finally speaks, her voice filled with cold fury. I want to kill Molly. She knows they can't remove the cursed imprint just yet, so she'll start with the source of the problem. One step at a time, she's taking back control. Fresh from a shower, and wrapped in just a towel, she looks absolutely fearless. With 2 powerful demons as her bodyguards, she declares she's not afraid of anything. She gives Bal a look that's pure confidence. He offers to handle it for her, to just get rid of Molly. But our girl is done being a damsel. I'll take care of that myself. She does admit she might need his help if Molly attacks again, then cheekily asks if this is the part where she's supposed to panic and cry for comfort like a normal human. Bal facepalms so hard. He asks where on earth she got that idea, and she brings up some trashy romance novel she read. He's completely unimpressed. So you wanted to kill a succubus? He reminds her she barely survived their last encounter. She protests that her power has only just awakened. He points out the cold, hard truth. She's not the combat type. She retorts that it's because she doesn't have a good teacher. And just like that, Bale offers himself up for the job. Our girl is completely stunned by the offer. But before she can answer, the green-haired brother, Mott, materializes with some seriously cool-looking magic chains. I'll be your teacher, he declares, stepping into the ring. Both our girl and Bal can only stare in shock. A love triangle is one thing, but a teacher triangle? This is getting chaotic. Bal is not having it. You want to be her teacher? He growls, jealousy flaring in his eyes. Moat calmly explains that Bal is all brute force, no finesse. He can only teach her how to smash things. But he, on the other hand, can teach her true manipulation, wrapping his glowing chains around her as a demonstration. He calls it the Celestial Lock, a power that can even suppress the angel's seal on her. Now that's a sales pitch. Bal's possessiveness goes into overdrive. You're getting close to her without my permission, he warns. Remember, she's my contractor. Moat just smirks, ready to argue about who's more capable. But our girl shuts them both down with a savage chibi roast, pointing out that Bal's Lord Demon title is completely unofficial and self-proclaimed. Moat immediately pivots to bribery, offering her a Devildom beauty makeup gift pack if she picks him. He even throws in some magic grass essence facial masks. Our girl is so done with this nonsense, but Bal's already one step ahead, revealing he's spoken to the little knight. He dumps a mountain of textbooks on her, saying she needs to study the anatomy and weaknesses of every creature she might face. Our poor heroine is horrified. This is worse than studying for final exams. The sheer size of the book stack is enough to give anyone a migraine. She wails that there's no magic power-up, just homework. Moat chimes in, reminding her that Molly is over 300 years old. To catch up, she needs brains, not just brawn. Bale is merciless. You choose your own revenge. Go and read the books. Stealing her resolve, our girl glares at the mountain of knowledge. I'll read. I'm not afraid of it. She announces she's going to take a shower before starting her cram session. And just like that, she leaves the 2 demon brothers alone to stew in the tension. Mott asks if Bale has anything else to say. Bal stares blankly at a calendar on the wall, lost in thought. Moat pushes. Aren't you curious? Why does our sister still exist? The question hangs heavy in the air. The witch is their sister. Bal's expression is grim, the weight of the past crushing him. Moat presses on, asking the real questions. Why wasn't she destroyed? Why was she sealed in a human, of all things? Bal remains silent, the implications swirling in his mind. Then Mott delivers the final, cutting blow. Have you suddenly realized you do not know the sister at all? Bal finally snaps, his voice raw with pain. Enough. He can't take any more. The two brothers sit in a heavy, suffocating silence, the secrets of their past threatening to tear everything apart. The green-haired brother cuts straight to the chase, about our sister, but the demonic Prince Baal is at a total loss, admitting he has no idea why heaven and the four families didn't just obliterate her. He continues, his voice strained. I don't know her at all. He whirls around, his frustration boiling over. So, are you trying to show me that you know more than I do? His brother calmly explains that the top families kept her existence a secret, but their caution was a dead giveaway. He reveals she was born in the land of the dead, a desolate place filled with bones and despair. Baal admits it's the same place he was born, but his brother points out a key difference. Her pupils were black, unlike his red ones. She was a subordinate demon, but her power was off the charts. The birth of such a gifted demon should have been huge news, but mysteriously, none of the clans would take her in. His brother then poses a chilling question. Apart from heaven, who was the last person that made the four families scared? The realization hits Baal like a ton of bricks. Solomon? Yes, the Solomon, the one who saw the truth of the world and gained the wisdom of heaven itself. The legendary being who commanded the first demon, Baal and 71 others. This guy was an absolute unit. Baal is completely shook. You're saying our sister was Solomon? That's impossible. But his brother insists it's the only theory that makes sense. The only reason everyone would be so terrified of a mere subordinate demon. The terrifying conclusion is that our girl, the witch, is Solomon. Or worse, a failed reincarnation of Solomon. Meanwhile, our girl is blissfully unaware, relaxing in the bath. She thinks she's successfully distracted the demon brothers, but her mind wanders back to that steamy kiss with Baal. She tries to brush it off, telling herself it's nothing to a demon. I mean, he's a demon prince. He probably has a whole harem of wives and concubines, right? Ugh, she shakes her head, trying to focus on studying instead of her chaotic love life. Back with the brothers, the lore drop continues. Baal processes the new info. So heaven tried to resurrect Solomon, but failed. Exactly. And then they tried to destroy their failed product. The brother explains she has no memory of Solomon, but she inherited his god-tier wisdom and the raw power of the first demon, making her a threat to literally everyone. This girl is a walking apocalypse, and she doesn't even know it. Her power was so immense they couldn't destroy her, so they split her soul into pieces and sealed them away, telling everyone the witch was gone for good. And where's the best place to hide apocalyptic power fragments? The peaceful, unsuspecting human world, of course. But Baal isn't buying it. No. He reveals the shocking truth. Someone tried to resurrect her. His brother can't believe it. Baal presses on. If it's not for resurrection, why do they want to keep part of the witch? He points out that if they just wanted her to stay dead, there were easier ways. He lands on a new, even more terrifying theory. What if it's not for the witch, but for Solomon? Baal immediately shoots his own theory down, saying it's impossible since devildom fears Solomon. And the fanatics in heaven would never let go of the one who betrayed them. His brother counters with a new idea. What if Solomon was reincarnated, but with his memories intact? It means the resurrection was planned, but something went terribly wrong with the memory wipe. The ones behind it didn't want him to remember his past. They wanted something else, his legendary wisdom, the very knowledge that holds the truth of the world and the secrets of heaven. Baal is losing his mind. The brother explains the resurrection failed, creating an existence that could threaten heaven itself. So they pivoted. The new plan was to have Solomon reborn without his memories, retaining only his knowledge. They reincarnated his knowledge into a human body, while his power, the witch, was also trapped in a human body. All they'd have to do is show up in the human world and collect their prize. A truly diabolical plan. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. The door to the bathroom creaks open. And there stands our girl, fresh from her bath, looking completely unamused. Are men always that noisy? Before they can answer, a powerful voice booms from outside. Metatron. In a flash of feathers, the two brothers teleport out of the room just in the nick of time. They reappear below, watching as a stunning winged figure hovers outside the window. The angel sighs dramatically. Alas, both brothers. Annoying. She pouts. I thought I could have a little more fun. This chaotic angel is clearly here to stir the pot. She pulls out a crystal and makes a call. Hello? On the other end, a man in a sharp suit smirks. Your baby girl is awakened. Don't you want to come and see her? The angel agrees. Okay. She gazes down at the city lights. Let me see. The man refers to our girl as number 66, whose last name is Jia. And there she is, completely oblivious to the cosmic drama unfolding around her, just trying to get her homework done. Our poor demon lord lies in bed, completely lost in thought. He feels like a total failure. He and his right-hand man stare out at the moon, contemplating their next move. He asks grimly if the archangel Metatron ran away. This proves their theory was correct, that Metatron is connected to the seal, but now they've alerted heaven to their plans. His subordinate tries to comfort him, placing a hand on his shoulder. He reminds him that as the leader of devildom, he has to be ready to negotiate. Baal puts on a brave face, but deep down he really doesn't want to go back. He's remembering the simple, happy times with our girl in the human world. Even their little quarrels and him cooking for her is a million times better than the endless work back home. He suddenly understands why his subordinate, Mott, is always sneaking off to the human world to be a corporate slave. He sighs, realizing he's the only one who's still trapped in the past, haunted by memories of his sister. He remembers her holding his hands, asking if the new ball was really him. The memories are a painful, confusing blur. He thinks back to the original demon lord, Solomon's contractor. And it hits him like a ton of bricks. The person who inherited Solomon's existence is a little devil with the same name as him. He should have realized it sooner. A vision flashes through his mind, Solomon's body, lying among bones in the land of the dead. It was the first Lord Demon who took him there, and when Solomon died, the demon died with him due to their contract. And from Solomon's body, a witch was born. He tosses and turns, tormented by these revelations. His sister's words echo in his head, telling him his feelings were just a misunderstanding, that it wasn't love. Meanwhile, our girl is having a much better time, stretching happily after a delicious meal. She thanks the angel for the wonderful food. He's just happy that she liked it. When he offers to cook for her again, she makes a bold proposal. Move in and be her personal chef. He's more than happy to oblige. But the green-haired demon steps in, telling her not to bother the busy angel. He explains that as a former Knight of Light, the angel was taught to always give, so he'll agree to anything. Our girl goes quiet, contemplating his words. Feeling a food coma coming on, she decides to just head to bed. She snuggles under the covers and notices the bed is still warm. Wait, warm? How is that possible? She peeks under the blanket and her eyes go wide. It's Bal, fast asleep in her bed. She internally panics, wondering why the heck the demon lord is in her bed. But then her panic turns to appreciation. Having a sleeping beauty next to her is pretty cool, not gonna lie. She watches him sleep, a rare moment of peace on his face. She can't help but smile, thinking he looks so much better now. He just looks so peaceful. She reaches out to poke his nose, but his reflexes are faster. He wakes up and grabs her wrist. He immediately pulls her into a tight embrace. "Let me hug you for a while," he whispers, his voice thick with sleep and desperation. Our girl can only blush as he holds her close under the quiet moonlight. But elsewhere, the night is anything but quiet. Ma is having a very, very bad time with some random blonde. It's less of a kiss and more of an aggressive soul-sucking. Yikes, dude. Easy on the hair. He shoves her away, gasping for air. He looks like he's about to collapse when his bunny-eared assistant offers him some water. He takes a sip and immediately spits it out in disgust. He orders his assistant to go spread contracts at school, vowing to make that little bitch taste some real pain. But before he can continue his villainous monologue, the window behind him explodes. Glass flies everywhere. Mott is completely stunned by the sudden intrusion. A man in a suit comes flying through the broken glass, complaining that he couldn't get in without a door key. "So I can only come in like this," the intruder says. Mott freezes in horror. "Oh shit, Bathe." The intruder, Bathe, adjusts his cool guy shades. "I hear the Lord Demon is in love," he says smoothly. As his subordinate, I must offer my support. He lowers his glasses, revealing a sinister golden eye. "Am I right, my dear uncle?" Oh, the disrespect. Mott is absolutely fuming. Bathe just smirks, repeating, "What do you say, uncle?" Mott finally snaps and screams his name. He demands to know why Bathe is in the human world. "Couldn't you stay in Devildom where you belong?" Bathe just throws the question right back at him. "Aren't you in the human world as well?" Then he drops a savage burn. "Could it be that your master, Mott, can't satisfy you anymore?" The rage is real. The little bunny assistant tries to defend his master's honor by throwing a chair, but Bathe stops it with zero effort and unleashes a devastating counterattack. Mott tries to taunt him, saying his single golden eye is useless. Even if you have a golden eye, it's useless. But he speaks too soon. He turns around and sees the absolute horror Betha has unleashed. The poor bunny assistant has been impaled by his own chair. He vanishes in a spray of blood, and Mott is horrified. Bathe calmly states that he's getting angry now. He lectures Mott about the foolishness of sneak attacks, blood dripping from his hand. The floor is stained red. Mott is on his knees, coughing and clearly injured from the blast. Bathe summons a glowing weapon. "After all, we're related," he says with a chilling smile. "How about a chance for some last words?" But Mott isn't going down without a fight. He spits back, "Are you really so willing to be the Demon Lord's lackey?" Bathe reminds him they're both from the prestigious Four Pillars family. Mott tries to reason with him, suggesting they team up to take down the Demon Lord. Bathe's response? A cold, hard, "Not gonna happen." He mocks Mott, asking if he really thought a succubus's blood could counter the witch's curse. He blames their pathetic situation on Mott's grandfather. "He's the reason I have to lay low and work as a slave for this root of all evil," but he admits that killing Mott now would just be pathetic, since he's too kind to be a real demon. So instead, Bathe decided to do the Demon Lord's job for him. Dragons causing trouble? Slay them. No questions asked. Nobles protesting? Silence them. Permanently. He even ordered the Russell family to use a forbidden time reversal spell just to fix the castle. Mott can't believe it. That's a forbidden spell. Bathe rants that he's doing all the hard work while the real Demon Lord is off having fun. "What's the difference between me and the Demon Lord at this point?" he sneers. "I am the real Demon Lord." Mott weakly argues that he isn't a real demon. But Bathe cuts him off. "She is," he declares, obviously talking about our girl. He laughs, deciding he's heard enough. The poor bunny whispers Molly's name with his last breath. Mott pleads for his lord's life, but Bathe is merciless. "I could have let you live if you'd just stayed quiet." With a snap of his fingers, he ends the poor assistant's life. Mott watches in pure, unadulterated rage. Vida then twists the knife, bringing up a rumor about Mott's romance with another demon. Mott absolutely loses it, screaming his name. Another demon appears, commenting on Mott's reaction. Vida continues his psychological torture, saying the official story is that he left due to arrogance. But the truth is that Mott just got tired of you. Mott is at his breaking point. I've changed my mind, Vida says with a cruel grin. You'll stay alive. He's suddenly very interested in the drama between Mott and Mott. Besides, he has a much better idea. The Demon Lord's mistress will want revenge on him for trying to hurt her, and if our girl isn't happy, the Demon Lord won't be happy, which would make Vida look like an incompetent corporate slave. But if he just cripples Molly, our girl can have her revenge personally. That makes her happy, which makes the Demon Lord happy, which makes him a good corporate slave. The logic is chaotic, but it checks out. He slams Mott into the wall, knocking him out. Stay alive, he orders, so I can enjoy an interesting story. Meanwhile, the fluffy demon assistant is flying high, thinking he did an amazing job. He feels he's truly on the path to becoming a benevolent ruler. He's so relieved that both the evil demon and the demon lord are in the human world, leaving him with no worries. Wait a second. His little brain finally catches up. If they're both in the human world, Koicho's running devildom. The poor corporate slave panics and rushes back to his post. And it's just as he feared. A succubus is apologizing to a very powerful-looking demon, who casually asks if she's telling him there's literally no one in charge. He calls her sweetie, and you just know this is gonna be a problem. The angelic official announces that a member of heaven went missing right at the entrance to devildom, and it's a serious incident. But the demon official is having none of it, telling him he needs to file the proper paperwork and provide evidence before they'll lift a finger. He shoves a scroll in her face, telling her to file an appeal through the due process of law. Turns out, it's just a copy of Lisa's Fresh Tips About Devildom, basically the local bureaucracy for dummies guide. The demon girl smugly says, that's how it works, and the poor angel has no choice but to ask for directions to the Judicial Administration Office. She happily points the way, crying tears of joy for the sanctity of the law while he fumes. Meanwhile, back in the human world, our girl slowly wakes up. And who is there to greet her but the handsome demon lord himself, Bao? She's completely stunned, realizing she somehow ended up in his bed last night. She sits up, demanding to know why he would get into a bed when there's a man on it. Wait, she's the one who crashed his bed. He just smirks, reminding her that this is his room and his bed. But then he softens, patting her head and apologizing, saying he fell asleep thinking about something important. He gently reminds her that she still needs to study, but then remembers he has a gift for her. He hands her a small bag, and inside is a beautiful jewelry box. Our girl's eyes light up as she sees the gorgeous earrings inside. She's absolutely beaming with happiness, which makes the big bad demon lord blush and turn away. She asks him what's wrong, and he stammers that it's just, he's finally seeing her, not the witch she used to be. He's having a full-blown internal crisis, realizing he's never noticed how dazzling she is. This man is absolutely swooning, wondering what he's missed all this time. He quickly changes the subject, asking if she's even allowed to wear jewelry at school. She says it's fine, but she doesn't actually have her ears pierced. Well, what a coincidence, because he offers to help with that right now. A little spark of magic and a slight wince from our girl. And boom, it's done. She touches her ear, shocked at how much it hurts, and he teases her for it. She gets fired up, threatening to show him how it feels. He just laughs, puffing out his chest and declaring he's the demon lord, afraid of nothing. But instead of a fight, he sneakily grabs her hand and starts tickling her mercilessly. Our poor heroine is laughing and begging him to stop. The playful mood suddenly shifts as he looks down at her with pure adoration. The air grows heavy with tension as he leans in close and softly asks for permission. He gently tilts her chin up and closes the distance between them. The kiss is tentative at first, but quickly deepens into something passionate and intense. Things are getting seriously heated, and he's completely lost in the moment. When they finally break apart, he whispers that he's never seen her smile like this before. She's stunned, asking if that's really true, and he just blushes and says probably. The moment is shattered when she suddenly remembers her exams. She pushes him away, demanding to know why he'd kiss her if he's worried about her getting distracted. He confesses that he's finally sorted out his feelings, and now he can't help himself before casually mentioning accepting her into his harem.